All right, and then that's when I decided I don't need that testicle, and then I gave it back to the animal. It was a really good time for the drive home. Oh, hey everybody! I knew we were on. I just felt like telling a silly story that actually didn't happen. I'm Scotty Was. There's Mark with the C. Johnny P is. Where's Johnny P? Do we know?
I don't know. I did see a picture show up on Facebook that may or may not be him.
Yeah, no, that was a weird one. Was it the Giro d'Italia or
Giro d'Italia?
I had one of those when I was in North Dakota. Tasted
Yes.
all right.
Was it delicious?
It's okay. Don't get the mozzarella. Let them worry about what to put in there. Don't, as an American, say, "Yeah, man, let me get like a steak sub in there," because they'll just look at you weird. Because they don't have cheese. They don't have the cheese whip, man.
Did the Greeks make it that far up?
Probably not. I think they stopped in around. I think they avoided Philadelphia altogether. So I think anywhere from Greektown is like to Harrisburg and then right to New York City. So
I thought you said North Dakota.
Oh, yes, they did. Well, they said they were Greek. They really look like, honestly, between you and me, they looked really Liechtensteinian to me.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say was they all look Greek to you.
Yes, it's all Greek. All the food's Greek to me. But
so how was your trip?
It was all right. The trip back, like honestly, Montana could be the scariest fucking state I've ever been in.
Really?
I was driving. I drove all through North Dakota, and that's whatever. It's got things to see. The minute you get to Montana, first off you lose cell service. At least for me, I lost cell service immediately. I lost cell service for half the state. And then go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to stop saying anything. I was muting myself.
Gotcha. So I went to a rest stop there, and it was so eerily quiet, I thought The Walking Dead was about to happen.
And you survived.
So luckily, because I just ran to the bathroom and ran to the car. They make it the worst possible thing because they actually make it a distance. It's not like you can get out and just stumble 2 feet. You have to go down steps, go through past patios. It was weird because I was checking the map and I'm looking around to make sure I wasn't like unconscious because it was so damn quiet and there was nothing else around. So that was something. And when I came back into Alberta, drove a few miles past Lethbridge and Fort Macleod, which is basically the turn to go up to Calgary. It's another 2 hours and you're fine. It took me almost 4 hours to get from Fort Macleod to Calgary because it decided to snow. And not like the usual, it's nice snow. It's like blinding snow. Like if you turn on the lights, like it's going to look like you're doing the Star Wars thing at warp speed.
Nice.
So that was creepy as hell.
That was a solid Star Wars and Star Trek reference in the same sentence.
These things happen. I don't know what happened. I've seen neither of them. But yeah, it was like just blowing by me. I'm like, oh, I am going to die here. And this is Calgary saying hello, or Alberta saying hello to me again.
So snow in May, huh?
Yeah, no, that was just the first snow that I experienced in May because we had a snowstorm yesterday here in Calgary.
Shut up.
It could have been the worst thing. It wasn't that much. Like it was just a heavy wet snow, but I had to get out my winter brush to wipe off my windshields. So front and back. And then it was a nice time. It was I need to get out of this fucking town. That's really what this says to me is like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't stay in Calgary for too much longer. So move to North Dakota, stupid, where it's not much better.
But at least it's America, though. It's America.
That's true, and gas is so much cheaper. Oh my god!
Even though I thought you guys had the whole, Edmonton oil thing going on.
It's like almost $4 here still, and that's low.
Get out of here! Yeah. So much for giving you all that money back a few years ago.
Shit, yeah, they took that in a like the thieves of the night that they are. So yeah, like if you break it down, it's 93.7 cents a liter, which is about less than $4, just less than $4 a gallon. And then like through Montana, the highest price I saw was $2.51, which is about 65 or something. Yeah,
$2.50.
But I have to say, during the drive, there were a lot of small town Montanas that I did not know about it. I'm just like, hey, look at this place, and I'm through. Okay, that was like 2 feet. How was that? Why do they have 7 gas stations and 5 casinos? I don't know.
Is there a Hannah, Montana?
No, but there's a Hannah, Alberta, which I think is really they should just reverse the rules, put Malta in Alberta and Hannah in Montana. Been great. But yeah, dude, the amount of little casinos, like little like bodega casinos that I saw driving through Montana was pretty big as well.
Bodega casinos, like where they're table games?
You know how, yeah, like I don't know if there's table games or like just slots, but I drive through and it looked like those old photo booths that were like only like that, almost like Rita Ice or Checkers. They're almost the size of Checkers.
Okay.
And then
drive up slot machines.
I
deliver them to your car door.
Oh, that'd be so great. No, just like you walk in and it's just it's Checkers. We got 3 slot machines and roulette. All right, I'm better put money now.
I didn't think Checkers had any front doors. I thought Checkers just, I see what you're saying though. I see what you're saying. But I don't think you can actually physically walk into a Checkers.
You can, but they'll like frown upon it. Like they'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing in here?" I'd be like, "Well, I'm trying to get some food and some service, and you bastards aren't coming to one of the 7 windows you have, so here we are." I went there in February for like a dinner. Like Jen and I were just waiting in the hotel room. We're just like, all right, we're hungry, and Checkers is open until 1 a.m. And then, lo and behold, that was during the ice storm, and my dad's car door got frozen shut, and I had to be the dude opening the door, giving my order out to the drive-thru. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a fun time, and that's the story of how Antarctica got its freedom. You, sir, were in the big state again last week.
I've been a whirlwind of traveling.
Whirling dervish,
like a Tasmanian devil of travel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it just Massachusetts again, or did you go to some top secret places?
No, that's it. Just Massachusetts. But guess where I'll be next week?
Massachusetts?
Kansas.
Wow.
Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, wow. You're going for the College World Series, are you?
Yep.
You're going to see the Wichita State Shockers defend their title. Yep. I don't know if they won last year.
No. No good reason to be there. Just there for work. So I guess that's kind of a good reason. I don't know.
You're making that cash, making that dough. But yeah, no. Other than that, and other than seeing the band live, I don't really see, why.
Wait, live is going to be there?
Yeah, no, it's going to be live in Kansas.
Or the band is going to be live.
Live is the first opener.
Is the band covering live songs?
God, how great would that be? And then they just sing "Dust in the Wind" to close out the show. How great would that be? Just you see the band singing all over you. Oh, goodness gracious, how great is that?
And then Kansas comes out and sings what was lightning? Something lightning.
Oh, lightning crashes. Yeah,
lightning crashes.
Oh, dude, I have that whole Throwing Copper album on my iPod for some reason. And there's a couple songs that are great, and there are other songs that are just pure 90s shit.
Yeah, I think most of the songs, see, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, solid album, beginning to end. There aren't many 90s albums you could say that about. Maybe, Nirvana, their album with the baby on the front is probably pretty good.
Nevermind.
And yeah, Nevermind. Yeah, there are. I mean, some Pearl Jam albums probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah, in the '90s was Drek. Like how?
Why do Fish Cracked Review? Definitely solid. Beginning to end, solid. Can't be beat.
I would say Under the Table and Dreaming's a pretty solid album. Pillar to post.
All right.
Go with a little Dave.
I can go with that.
But yeah, the rest of it was pretty crap. Like Jumble, like you buy the albums because you're as a young kid, you're too stupid to realize the single is a thing. And you can just buy Tub Thumper.
You can't just go buy the one song off of iTunes because it hasn't been invented yet.
Exactly, it's still years away.
I mean, I guess you could wait for it,
or wait a couple years. Wait a couple years and just Napster it, and then there you go.
That's true, but then technically, it's illegal.
Technically. Well, you know what? A lot of things are illegal.
It's true. A lot of things are illegal.
And yet here we still do them. but yeah, so it's basically just work stuff for you at the Bay State and then into Kansas.
Yep. That's it.
Isn't Kansas where the Google's doing the fiber optics?
It's one of the places. And
Yeah.
I think there's a couple other places they're doing. I want to say Ohio, somewhere. Columbus, Ohio might be one of the other ones.
Good for them. Good for Columbus, Ohio, getting something. Proud of them. First nationwide insurance. Now this. Good on you guys. Good work. Couple things.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I'm going on the Twitters. I'm like,
Okay.
all right, what's happening? Oh, people who yelled "fuck her right in the pussy" have been fired from their jobs.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like, okay, good for you guys. Soccer hooliganism is dead. In
so who did that?
Like 3 Toronto FC fans afterwards were being interviewed, and you know the internet meme of the Florida guy who's just in a hoodie and whatever, just yelling her fucker right in the pussy, and they did that to a city news anchor, and then she called, unlike the American anchors who get scared, she called them out on it, and they had no response, and it just came out today that one dude lost his 6-figure job with all his benefits and stuff.
What a dummy! And you know what? Good serves that guy right.
Yeah, no, I mean,
because look, it's not for me. It's not that he did it. It's that he's stupid enough to do it. So if he's dumb enough to do that on television, then you're going to get fired.
And not in a luchador mask. Like, right. That's something you do in a luchador mask or some kind of cover-up so people can't figure you out.
Right. Unless, your mom sees you on TV and comes down and grabs you by the ear and tells you to get out of, the riot area because you're being an asshole. Did you see that happen in Baltimore?
That was pretty hilarious. Yeah, just start beating him. He's like, "No, yeah. Mom, stop! I'm trying to be riding."
Yeah.
Stop, Mom. No.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. So that's that, and also this dad bod thing.
There's that. Yes.
I am so glad to be ahead of a trend, and not even know it, because I went to Mr. Mike's on Friday, and one of my one of the cooks back there came out. He cooked my steak because
there's too many cooks.
Too many cooks. It took 11 minutes to get that steak. It was really weird. But he comes out. He said, "Hey, did you hear?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Our bodies are now the in thing." I'm just like, I'm looking down at myself. I'm like, "When the hell did this happen?" Yeah, apparently that dad bod thing. I'm just like, "Wow, okay, I didn't even work at this, and here we are." I think also to have a dad bod, you have to tell very bad puns and embarrass people around you.
Yes, and also have a child.
That would be pretty crucial to have a dad bod. Other than that, you're just a lazy son bitch.
Yes, the lazy son bitch bod has not caught on yet. No,
not yet. I think that's a Steve Austin body, and you have to come with 2 robotic knee braces.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to being there.
Yeah, there you go. See, but yeah, no, the dad bod thing is a thing. I'm just like, all right, cool. I trend and don't even know it. Nice. All right, whatever. I guess I'm not working out for that wedding I'm going to in a month. Cool.
Just a month?
Less than a month. There's a wedding on June 6th I gotta go to in Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right.
Of our of a guy, the first caller of our show, Jeff.
Very nice.
During the 10-year anniversary, he revealed he was the guy who asked, "Is it Iserman or is Zierman?" And yeah, he's finally getting married. He's the last one of the Bach, Ballinger, Wasilewski quadruplet to get married. So,
and the oldest.
Yes. And I'm ahead in marriages though, so I got that going for me.
How so?
I got one done, so I can go right to the other one immediately. Everything's all broken off, so I figure once I get to that second one, I'll take the leaderboard once again. But it's not a competition. Yes, it is. But everyone loves this.
Well, you are winning in marriages and proof of your loins working.
Yeah, by a couple years, because Ballinger has his kid.
Yeah, but you're still in the lead. Mm-hmm. You were the first. I think you get bonus points for that, right?
I do. Yeah, I'll always be out there in the lead. Now, if I get a second one.
Well, if they get a second one, then you're not in the lead anymore. But you still have those bonus points.
I do, but that's like away goals. And if he gets 2 on home soil, then I'm fucked pretty much. This is essentially that Katie was an away goal because I was not Canadian then.
It's true. They're
Um,
worth more.
they are worth more, but not by much. And knowing Bounty's luck, he's gonna have twins next time, so then he'll definitely be in the lead. You know, who's to say? It could be wild. It could just be Mark coming on the show. Oh, by the way, I gotta go to the hospital. I'm having a baby, quadruplets. What up now? And then he just drops the mic and leaves.
It's like bringing out the Rock and Jock doubler puck. Suck it. Beat that.
Take that, assholes. And then yours is less than 6 months away, brother. Less than half a year.
I know. It's too late now. Just kidding.
Listen, Stan says it's never too late until you say I do.
It's true.
So you're not on the clock you're on the clock, but not on the clock. Let's be honest. But no, it's gonna be fun. It's funny. I got to go to close to Charlotte and Charlottesville for weddings. I'm just like, this is pretty. Glad I don't have to go to Pennsylvania again. Like the last 2 weddings I went to were in Pittsburgh, and then the second one was in New Jersey. So in upper New Jersey. So
it's the worst part of New Jersey.
Yeah, it really is. It's like we're not quite New York City, but not quite Jersey itself. It's like its own little entity. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a hoot and a holler. Actually, I better buy a plane ticket. That could probably be useful.
Yeah, you got time.
Yeah,
Southwest has just verified or just released all of the November flights anyway, so you're not even behind the game.
Yeah, I am, because Southwest doesn't fly up here. Yeah.
Well, what does then?
We got your Air Canadas, you got your WestJets, your Deltas, your US Airs, your United, your American, your Alaska. I think that's it. We don't even get JetBlue up here. So, yeah, no, I can't even freaking deal with that. I'm like, why do we not have JetBlue or Southwest? Why do I only have these options? This is bullshit. Hate all of you. And why is tickets so goddamn expensive? Then they said, sir, you just came here to order Chick-fil-A at the airport. Now get the hell out of the airport before your parking invalidates. I'm like, you're right. You're what? You're right. Give me the 12-piece nugget and let's make this snappy. You don't even have honey mustard? What is this place? I'm going to burn it to the ground. Not really. I didn't mean that. Oh, God, here comes TSA. So, yeah, I'm kind of pissed because, I see all these seat sales from Southwest and JetBlue. I'm just like, why can't we have nice things? Calgary, you're building 17 goddamn terminals for Air Canada, and their flights are much more expensive than anyone else's. You guys get me in there at night, so I don't know how to feel. I want to feel bad, and I want to yell at you, but then you get me in at 9 in the morning, and I don't have to worry about the rest of the day. I have a full day to myself, and I don't have to lose one. He says, as he doesn't know what to do on that Thursday, until he drives down in Raleigh that Friday. Oh, Christ on the bike. But yeah, I'll be also, when I get back, I will be house sitting for Johnny P as he's in Vegas.
I see.
So
when is he in Vegas?
I think he said leaves the 7th and gets back the night of the 10th. So, yeah, that's what he tells me at least.
Yeah.
I'll show up and he'll still be there. Yeah, Vegas trip got canceled. Spare room still available? Yeah. All right, cool. I'll be down in a minute.
Yeah.
That Johnny P. Do we actually know where he is tonight?
No, I don't.
I think he's at the DC United game tomorrow, and I think he said there's a concert there tonight.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah. I hope it would make sense. Let's see if there's anything on DC. He called it DC Unite Edge. I don't know what the hell that means.
It sounds extreme.
It does. It's I want to drink the rest of this Mellow Yellow and drink 17 more. By the way, smuggling Mellow Yellow, very highly desirable. You should do that. Everyone should.
Smuggled it in. Mm-hmm. Can you seriously not get Mellow Yellow up there?
No, man, not anymore. Not since 2008.
What did they do? Was there a law out forbidding Mellow
They're
Yellow,
like,
doesn't
they're
he?
like, first off, there's way too much fucking caffeine in here. Second off, there's less than 1% juice in here. Get out of our office.
Wow, that sucks that they're so anti-juice.
Yeah, dude. Then they're
Or
like,
no,
we
they're
got the juice
pro-juice.
now. They're
They,
very
they,
pro-juiced.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really like juice.
Yeah, like they voted for Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. Like they're one of the Canada as a whole is one of the votes. Sadly, it only counts for like 3 votes. So
But very pro-juice.
very pro juice, these things happen. We'll have to get an update from Johnny next week about what is up with his bullshit. Are you concerned about tomorrow night?
Not really. I don't know. I've already come to terms with how it's going to end. So no.
It's kind of sad that I have too. Is it bad that we think this way? Like as fans and knowing that this team has a history and they're 0-4 in game 7s that they were up 3-1 in.
Yeah. Well, did you see Bang and Panger, or well, not Bang and Panger, Down Goes Brown's article that he wrote today?
No.
About I don't think it was on his website. I don't know which website it was on, but it was about the different levels of Capitals collapses and the level out of 10 of heartbreak it was. The Easter one was by far the highest at 9 out of 10 heartbreaks.
Obviously.
But yeah.
There's a funny stat floating around. This is the 3rd straight year that the Rangers are going to play Game 7 on May 13th against the Caps 2 years ago, against the Penguins last year, and then now against the Caps this year. They're 2-0 in those May 13th games.
Oh boy. Well, then that's it. Game over. Pack it up. Send it in.
So why even show up to Madison Square
Garden?
The Alex Ovechkin era, he is 4-12 in elimination games, and they are
9-0 at home. By the way, Lundqvist is 9-0 at home in elimination games,
and the Caps are 0-6 in game 6s when up 3-2.
Jesus Christ!
I look at these stats and I'm like, how am I still a fan of this team? How am I doing? Like
the law of averages. Unless they're trying to lose. I don't get it.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I was there, games 1 through 4, I think, were played. I think it was 1 through 4. When was game 5? Anyway, the point is this.
Game 5 was
Friday?
Wednesday. Friday was game 6. Sunday. Oh no, yeah. No. Yeah, game 5 must have been Friday night then. Yes.
Yeah. So it's funny because what games 1 through 4, Jen saw me minus game 2 because we were out in Fargo, tooling around there when the game was going on. But she saw me having to watch this team, and she's like, "How do you do this?" And she's like, "I'm not even a fan of this team, and I'm nervous and yelling at the computer screen." I don't know. It's just second nature, and I know I'm going to be disappointed in the grand scheme of things, but here we are.
Wait, why were you watching it on a computer screen?
Listen, we had a totally legit screen. We had a totally legit connection. We legitimately watched the game. Legitimately. That's all I'm going to say.
But it's a nationally televised game, and you were in the nation.
Some people don't have cable. Some people go with the Netflix, and they go with totally legit streams.
Fair enough. I'm not saying one way or another that you could have gone to the bar down the road.
Listen, it's totally legit. Everything is up and up. Everything is fine.
Yeah, if it's on the internet, it's completely
legal.
Accessible.
Completely legal that we got this stream.
Everything is legal on the internet.
Yes, I've seen it on the internets and the porns.
All of the porn online is legal.
Especially the porn.
All you have to do is click on that thing at the beginning that, are you 18? Yes, obviously exactly. I'm 18. I clicked on the button, didn't I?
Shit, come on. It's not like a beer website where you have to do math and try to figure out if you're 21 or not.
Yeah, you just say, sure, I'm 18.
Are you 18? Yes, in big bold letters, and then no is small underneath. But yeah, she tells me that she's like, how are you able to do this? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm 20 years older in my heart because this team can't fucking close out a goddamn game.
If you think you're old, just think how McClure feels.
Dude, I have to give it up to McClure, just because this kid lives and dies with DC Sports. God bless him. If not DC Sports, just the Caps. I'm sure that Wizards game could have been heartbreaking for him last night too.
He doesn't really care. It's really just Redskins and
okay.
And Capitals.
Oh,
I don't think he doesn't really care too much about the Wizards.
So the Wizards, the Caps, or the Redskins, the Caps, and the O's. How is this guy alive still?
I don't know. And the Maryland Terps. I guess the Terps have probably been the most successful team of his life. I think the O's have won one World Series during his life. The Terps
Redskins
have won
2 Super Bowls.
That's true. So they can. Oh, that's depressing. I should tell him that the Redskins are the most successful franchise of his entire life, and see how that treats him.
Yeah, but the Terps are the last one to win in 2002. So,
yes,
unless you count Lady Terps, and then did they win the national championship on the women's side?
They've won it a couple times. I want to say, and the soccer team has definitely won it a couple times.
Sure. Okay. Well. But still, the Redskins with 2 Super Bowls over the other sport. Ugh. It's pretty depressing. Poor McClure. Great guy. His story on Sunday night was great though. I had to give it up to them. Like, that's hilarious. Oh, Adam McClure.
Yeah. What a guy.
What a guy. I love and miss him.
What a tortured soul.
Yeah, and then you put the sports into play, and that's just really weird. So yeah. Caps game. That's why we're doing it tonight. I asked Lyle, hey, Lyle, listen, we're thinking of doing the show Tuesday because of the fact that we're Caps fans and we don't want to, jinx it. And then I remember, like, the last time we done a show was the Burrell Ward game 2 years ago. And I'm like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do it. And then I'm just like, I don't care. Let's just do it.
So almost all of the game. How have the Caps done on Game 7s on Wednesdays? Whether we've had a show or haven't had a show, because the only one I remember is the Game 7 against, was it Montreal or Tampa Bay, that we did during the show and they lost, and we just kept going.
It was the Halak game, and then we dissected the game as it happened, as it ended.
Yes.
Then I think the Pittsburgh game 7 was a Wednesday?
It was.
Tuesday?
I don't know if it was a Wednesday, but I was definitely at that game, so I wouldn't have been on the show. But I don't know if you guys did a show or not.
I don't know if we did either. The Joe Ward game 2 years back was on a Wednesday because you said Joe Ward's going to have a good night. Then we turn off the show, goes into overtime, he scores the OT winner.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, no, like before the show, you're like, dude, Bro Ward is going to have a great game. Because you're in your, hey, let's put bro before everything.
Oh yeah, I was putting bro before everything back then.
Yeah.
You know what? Bro Ward's gonna have an excellent game again.
And boom, yes, dude, he has been playing well. He's earned himself another contract, if nothing else, with the Caps. Can't say the same for Mike Green now. Cannot say the same for 5'6" guy Mike Green, especially because he's a 5'6" guy now, and we can probably throw Orlev in there if we want to. Well,
they just did call up Nate Schmidt. Nate Schmidt for game 7.
He's been up and down. He hasn't played. He's just been there as like a just in case kind of guy.
Yeah.
But Hershey's been getting a lot of offense from their blue line, which is scary. So Nate Schmidt might be lost, but it's not Cam Schilling. So Cam Schilling got the game winner in game 3 the other night. So there's that. Cameron Shillon. I think that's what they call him. I really don't know.
I don't think it's Cameron. Cameron, different dude.
Oh baby. Cameron was, I would say, a poor man's R. Kelly.
Is that what you'd say?
I'd say, and you know what? If we poll 100 people, first off, 50 of them will say, "Who's Cameron?" 25 will say, "You mean from Ferris Bueller?" And the other 25 will say, 24 people would say, "I guess, I don't know. Can you hum a few bars of them?" And one person would say, "Yeah, dude, he's a poor man's R. Kelly." That one person is me. So, you know.
All right, I'll go with it.
All right, sounds good.
Number one answer. Put it on the
Number one answer. One answer on the board. Who is a poor man's R. Kelly? Everyone will say Steve Harvey. Just be shocked. Just do a Steve Harvey thing as he's tumbling over on someone's dais. All right. Well, there's a couple news and notes. We should go ahead and attack that.
Sure.
Oh, my alarm! My alarm's like, oh, you have an alarm coming up. That's right. I have to work tonight. I forgot about that. Oops. All right. Injury report. Ryan Callahan out for tonight's game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Emergency appendectomy on Monday.
Those are the best kind of appendectomies.
Best kind, and apparently, I have here that he's out indefinitely. The Lightning are saying he's day-to-day and could have suited up tonight if he wanted to. Now I'm thinking to myself, listen, surgery, it far advanced beyond our years when we started back in 1973 when the show started.
Mm-hmm.
On WNAV, 14:30 a.m. But even then, I don't think appendectomies are, hey, we're going to take this out, strap an aspirin to it, you're going to be third line.
Maybe.
Could
He
be.
might be the Steve Eis or he might be the Daniel Alfredson of appendectomies.
That'd be something. If he just came back, if he showed up, like they put a roster spot on, and he came in halfway through the second period. Like, here I am, boys. Here we go. Let's go. And then it scores the game winner, like Corey Perry after he was murdered on Sunday night, but then or Saturday night, and then somehow miraculously came back to score the game winner.
Corey Perry, what a man!
What it showed. Can't deal with that guy. I think Anaheim is the team everyone hates this year.
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
I think everybody hates the Rangers.
I think in the West everyone hates Anaheim. It's two teams basically no one wants to see in the Stanley Cup Finals in the West because it's Chicago who's basically a dynasty, who's been to this is their third fourth conference final in 5 years. So everyone hates them. I think everyone hates the people on Anaheim. So Ryan Kessler, Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf. I like Gabby. I'm glad Boudreau got himself into a conference final. Good for him. But yeah, I think everyone hates the Rangers out east. I think if the Rangers get eliminated, then I think people would be. You know what? I'm going to say it right now. The Rangers are as overrated as the city they play in. New York City is overrated.
Ooh, Sinatra. Don't say that in front of Sinatra. He'd punch you in the face.
Dead. I don't have to worry about him.
He'll roll over out of his grave and punch you in the face, and then tell you to make him a drink.
Listen, if he was going to do that, he'd kill me out, punch me in the face in Montana when there was no one around.
No,
Like
he'll
the
do
one-
it in plain sight. Frank does not hide behind anything.
He's not. What's his name? Who hit you with a bag of oranges?
Who hit me with a bag of oranges?
Who was that old crooner? Who sung with David Bowie? During that
Tony
Christmas
Bennett?
special. No, not Tony Bennett. He's still alive, I think.
Oh, when someone's dead?
Yeah, he sung with the Lady Gagas. Oh, shite. Oh, God, this is going to kill me if I don't look it up. David Bowie. Maybe he didn't hit people with bags of oranges.
Yeah, Tony Bennett sang with Lady Gaga. Lady's a Tramp.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not talking about Bennett. I'm talking about David Bowie. Let's
look at a list of Bing Crosby.
There it is, Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby said the best thing to do is beat people with a bag of oranges because it doesn't leave a bruise.
It's true.
So, I mean,
the list of famous crooners. Number one on the list is Whispering Jack Smith, but it seems as though they're in alphabetical order, which doesn't make sense as to why W is on the top of the list.
Well, is it W or is it S for Smith? Even then, that doesn't make sense. S is all the way down the end of the alphabet. God damn it, people.
And there's only 61 people on this list. What kind of list is this? That's awful.
61 crooners in the 50s were a thing? I'm surprised.
Let's see. Wikipedia has a list of crooners. Living crooners. You know what start with living crooners?
Sure.
Elton John considered a crooner.
Mm.
Billy Joel considered a crooner. Harry Connick Jr. That's a crooner right there. Frank Stallone.
What?
Frank Stallone is a crooner.
I thought you were doing a Norm Macdonald joke there for a second. And also, you guessed it, Frank Stallone.
Johnny Mathis.
Yeah, he's a crooner.
Landau Eugene Murphy Jr.
What?
I don't know. Let's see. Morrissey. Morrissey's definitely a crooner. Michael Bublé, of course, crooner. Sir Paul McCartney is listed as a crooner, but oddly enough, not Ringo Starr.
No, Ringo Starr is barely listed as anything. Let's be honest here.
Now let's go into the deceased crooners. Bing Crosby, of course. Fabian, a guy named Fabian. Dick Powell. Dick Himes. Dick Jurgens. There's a lot of dicks on this deceased crooners list.
A lot of crooners for dicks.
Sammy Davis Jr., Nat King Cole, Bobby Darin. And like, what? How do you like? Why does Wikipedia get to say who's a crooner and who isn't?
That's a good.
Guess who is on this list?
Who's that?
Louis Armstrong.
Perfect.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. I think I was talking out of my headset or my microphone the entire time. Oops.
You sound much more clear now.
Do I? Great. Awesome. Jesus Christ. Way to change your settings, Scott. Luckily, we didn't do much.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You're still, I was going to say legible. Intelligible?
Intelligible, there it is.
You're still intelligible, either way.
It's because when I did this show with Jen, we had to put this microphone on the camera on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, now it's on the headset thing, and it's just like, oh, okay, great, super. Oh well, whatever. Not too concerned.
Emilio Pericoli. Yeah.
Well, did they say what defines a crooner by chance?
A list of crooners, singers in a soft, intimate style made possible by the introduction of microphones and amplification. What? So you can't be a crooner without technology? That doesn't make sense.
You can't be a crooner unless you have a microphone.
A crooner is an American epithet given to male singers of pop standards, mostly from the Great American Songbook, either backed by a full orchestra, a big band, or by a piano. Originally, it was an iconic term denoting an emphatically sentimental, often emotional singing style made possible by the use of microphones. And I bet you're wondering now what the American Songbook is.
Do I? And can we use this for your wedding to sing karaoke to afterwards?
Yes. In his 1972 study of the canon American Popular Song, The Great Innovators from 1900 to 1950, songwriter and critic Alec Wilder provided a list of the artists he believes belong to the Great American Songbook canon, as well as his ranking of their relative worth. Wow.
Jesus.
Wilder devotes whole chapters to only 6 composers. Jerome Kern, well, those are composers. We don't care about those. Where do you get to the crooning?
Where's the crooning? We need to get to the crooning.
Good times, though.
That's amazing. I learned something new today.
Yeah. Rufus Wainwright got apparently included on that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Carly Simon.
Ooh, that's pop,
That's a
dude.
woman.
I don't know.
Bette Midler.
I could see Bette Midler as a crooner, sure.
Sting.
No. No, like Sting, Paul McCartney, anybody I think who was pop and went to a rock era. No, you don't. You're not a crooner. Stop it. Sting's playing the lute now, so I discount anything he does.
Are you sure that's not Steve Borden?
It'd be great if it was Steve Borden. He had a side job as a crooner.
Doesn't specify which Sting.
That's true. Is it Gordy or is it Steve? Who's to say?
Oh, it's Sting. It's Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner. Why do you have 4 names?
Exactly. What's the 4 names?
You have 5 now.
What?
He has 5 now because he added Sting to it.
Technically, I've got like 17 names. It's a lie. It's a lot of aliases. And then I figured out what my birth name was, and that was pretty weird.
Do you want to share?
Timothy Joseph. Timothy Joseph is what I've been called.
Can't see it as a Tim.
No, not that's a consensus. That's a consensus among people. Is after 31 years. Yeah, you're not. Or 32 years. You're not Tim. You're not a TJ. Not
No.
a TJ.
No, I don't think we'd have been friends if you were a Timothy.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been friends with myself.
A
But no,
Sting,
like-
though. You could, if you were Sting Wazalewski,
Oh, I would see at that point if I had Timothy Joseph, I wouldn't have the Wazalewski portion.
that's true.
That'd be a whole different family. But yeah, dude, if I was, dude, it's funny because my little league when we went to like coach pitch like little league thing and like they did announcements for some goddamn reason, I used the Stinger as my nickname, and then I Stinger splashed and put the first baseman in the Scorpion Deathlock. So it was pretty weird. I don't know why I got thrown out of the game. It was really that was in Pittsburgh too. That was a fun
Well, it's
time.
because you weren't heeding the referee's warnings. He
That's
told
true.
you to let the hold go, and you wouldn't let it go.
He's like, look, break. All right, DQ. Ring the bell. Damn, Nick Patrick. Anyway, you know who I think would be a crooner? Like if he just gave it a shot,
Who?
Mike Babcock. He's got the solid stone face. He's got a guy who can command a room.
It does look like his jaw would be able to use a microphone.
He would. Thank goodness, right? So he apparently has taken a tour, not for crooning though, for coaching jobs. This past week he went to Toronto, Edmonton, Buffalo, and now he's over in the Czech Republic for the World Championships. And yeah, he is doing that whole thing.
So, for the sake of our listeners that might not know, and me, why is he leaving Detroit?
Well, Detroit has given him permission to go out and basically test the waters. No one can sign him until July 1st unless they want to give up a third-round pick in this year's draft, and I think next year's draft is compensation. But he rejected 2 Detroit offers, and I think he just wants to see what other offers he can get out there, which I think is a good move on Detroit's part because they can basically see what he would get and then match it if they want to, or just say peace out. And just give the job to Jeff Blashill, who coaches in Grand Rapids right now. So apparently, rumor has it Mike Babcock's looking for 5 years, $5 million, which would make him the highest paid coach.
Oh, $5 million a year.
Yeah. So 5 years, $25 million total. Which for a team like Toronto or Edmonton or Buffalo, that could be a little steep. But if you think it's going to help your team, I don't know. It's still a little steep. But, you're going to teams who have owners who have deep pockets because Toronto's got deep pockets. Edmonton, Daryl Cates has deep pockets. And Terry Paguglia owns Buffalo. So he's got deep pockets. Well, to be fair, if we, pulled together $20,000, we could buy a lot of Buffalo if we want.
It's true.
So we can buy at least two apartment complexes and a wing shop. So that's all you need in Buffalo.
Yeah, well, where do you need?
Nothing, I think. When you look at the grand scheme of things of Buffalo, maybe a poutine place, but you can put that in with the wing place. Do like a Boardwalk Fries gimmick, and just have Boardwalk Fries as a poutine, and then go with that. By the way, Boardwalk Fries in 2 locations in Calgary. I don't know why we don't have a goddamn boardwalk.
It's their version of Boston Pizza.
No, I guess, but it's still got the Maryland. You walk in there, it tells you all the history of it opening up in Ocean City.
Oh my God, it's a real.
It's the
real
Boardwalk
Fries.
It's the Boardwalk Fries because it gives you a history of the dudes opening in Ocean City and then putting one.
Did
in
you
the
open a
Columbia.
Boardwalk Fries in Calgary?
I wish I did. I didn't notice until I was looking at the shopping carts at work. They said Boardwalk Fries. I'm like, wait, this can't be, can it? And then I look up online. I'm like, oh my God. Problem is, you have to bring your own Old Bay. That's the only downside. They don't provide the Old Bay for you.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
BYOOB. So, and luckily enough for me, booyah! 2 things of it. You got the less sodium and you got the regular sodium.
Wow.
It's got all the sodiums in it. So obviously, I'm taking all the sodiums.
Yeah, why would you? That's the whole point.
Listen, I got to keep my dad body in shape, right? So
That's true.
Just dad body. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk to Lyle about the dad body thing because I think that he would relate. I like how people flip out. Why are they having this dad body thing? Because some woman on Slate talked about the dad body phenomenon, and then people picked up on it, and no one asked me if I like it.
What's Slate?
It's a website that's been around for a while, just like a political or topical or some bullshit op-ed pieces. Like it used to be like a political, like an alternative political website, like how 538 is now. It's like, oh, hey, cool, just this alternative political. Now then it's just like it turns into like a cause, like any kind of cause you have, whether it be classism, feminism, sexism, racism. Like it's that kind of website now, and people are all up in arms because this woman wrote a story about how the dad bod phenomenon's happening, and then people are just like, this is unrealistic goals. It's just furthering body issues for men and women. I'm like, who cares? If you have a dad body, great. If you have dad puns, even better. If you have a kid with a dad bod and dad puns, boom, you're a dad. That thing, it happens. You know, what the fuck? Enough of this bullshit about it's just women don't have the same standard. I don't know. You know, I'm not going out there saying every woman should look like fucking like Haley Williams or any of the WWE divas. No, I'm just saying whatever. Do what you. If it makes you healthy, it makes you healthy. Who gives a shit what you look like? You know.
Amen, brother.
Fucking Christ, dude. You know, you don't have to be the. If someone likes you for who you are, then fucking accept that and not worry about anything else. I mean, I got people who like me for who I am, and I got people who hate me for who I am. But that's just because I'm a terrible human being, and I accept that. I accept the awful things that I say. Oh, you missed it last week. I got into it with on air with Jen, and I'll ask you about this. Yeah, we kind of had a little discussion about this. Does your girl sandbag your jokes? Like if you tell a joke, like, and she just looks at you, like after you tell it, she's like, mm-hmm. Does she ever do that to you?
So she does just a lot of that. Absolutely a lot of that. And to go even one step further, if I were to tell jokes like at a table with other people, she just like she completely ruins the punchline of the joke.
Oh, that's terrible.
She won't even let the joke finish. If I'm in the middle of telling a story, maybe not necessarily a joke, because like you know, a joke takes time to develop. Or has a distinct punchline, but a story that like she was a part of, she just like leaps right to the end of it and doesn't even like build it up like a good storyteller would.
Wow! So she sandbags you and then takes the glory.
Yeah,
I got a newfound respect for her for that. At least for that part, the sandbagging part. Like literally, I was telling all these great puns and like literally on air, and she's giving no response, and I'm like, how dare you sandbag me like this? How dare you? Because I know she wants to laugh because it was just an inane pun. She hates
I would have laughed.
Oh, I know you did. I had Johnny and Lyle rolling, and then I called her out for sandbagging, and they were rolling even more. It was the best part. Like she was talking about these little bugs. They're called chiggers. That bite you in the summer.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and I was talking about how like I was wearing sandals because it was actually nice in North Dakota for the first time ever that I visited there. I'm talking about like, my ankles feel like some bugs are biting them. She's like, I don't know, mosquitoes aren't out. It could be, you know, I haven't seen any chiggers around. And I said, I did. I saw them playing pickup down the road. And Johnny was laughing his ass off. And she's just like deadpan. He's like, yeah, no, but still, I don't think they're out yet. Like, no, that was a good one. Not only was that racist, but that was a good pun. So she sandbagged that. There are a lot of other things too. Like we were just in Fargo, and I was just making all these awful puns. We were like shopping in thrift shops and stuff. We got some good pools, and I'm just telling dad jokes, and she's not giving me anything. I'm just like, no, you laugh at this because it's funny. Stop. How dare I know you? I see you smirking. I see you shaking like you want to laugh, and you're not going to give me the satisfaction. How dare you?
She knows you well.
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of scary and sad. And I don't know if I don't know. I'm rethinking this whole thing. Rethinking this whole development. Oh, by the way, when we went thrift shopping, I found a red shirt on a rack, and it says Matchbox 20 and gives a couple definitions, so I know who I'm sending that one to.
Oh
boy! I bought
geez.
it, and I just have to get his address. I'm gonna send it to him, and it's ta-da! Douchebag.
He should let Louis present it to him in the locker room.
I should just send it to Louis and then have Louis present it to the locker room and someone videotape it. Someone Vine that shit.
Is Vine still a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing for. It's more joke, like short joke kind of things. It's like there's a lot of crazy shit on there. Like it's the funniest stuff in like 6-second like burst. There's it's more, I guess, centered towards an urban youth.
I see.
Because it seems like a lot of the stuff is really hilarious, and there's a couple like whatever. But you look it up. It's pretty fun. Like Tumblr's all full of Vines. It's really.
What was that other website that we were going to start using? With video, Keek. Was it Keek?
I think it was Keek.
Was Keek a thing?
Tout? Were we going to tout things?
Tout? Was that what WWF used?
Yep, that's what they bought 70% of.
And good work on that investment, guys.
Yeah, then Instagram's like, yeah, you know what? We're going to put 15-second videos. Go screw yourself, Tout.
Good times.
Keek, I realize that Keek is more of a sexual thing apparently now. Sexual messaging.
Really? I couldn't tell by the name. That it would have ever wound up like that.
It's shocking, right? Like that's a huge trend of events. I'm sure the swerve is strong with you.
Considering it sounds like some sort of sexual maneuver already.
It does, doesn't it? It's really odd. Social media has gone off the rails, more so than usual.
As you can tell, I've sort of disappeared from the social media eye for a bit. There's a lot of
because you were so prominent beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, Twitter. My Twitters are few and far between.
Your Twitter is just there for references, and then Sean Leahy confusing you and John.
Yeah, I don't really check it all that often. I think I've even turned off the alerts for it.
Hey, spoiler alert! You're not missing much. As like when we get Lyle on, he'll tell you that he's just there to promote his work, and then that's it. He doesn't really interact anymore because people are fucking idiots.
Yeah, people are dumb.
So, whatever. People want to be like that, then by all means go ahead. Don't expect people to respond to you in turn or in kind or whatever the hell you want to say.
All right, well, it's good. It's good that I'm not the only one.
Nah, a lot of people are turning off to the whole thing, so I do it just because it's fun for just throwing out one-liners and shit like that, and it's better than doing like spam. I think it's easier to spam Twitter for me than it is to spam Facebook because Facebook are people I actually interact with, on an everyday basis. So
yeah,
Twitter is just like nameless people I see once a year at a draft. So who cares? And then I just put a big long diatribe on Facebook when all said and done. Tell you what, Jordan Epperly and Taylor Hall are going to be interested to see how they react if Todd McClellan isn't the coach of the Edmonton Oilers when all said and done. They endorsed him as a candidate, as he has been like, hey, listen.
I didn't realize that their endorsements went. I mean, is he going to win the primaries, you think, or?
Well, Alberta just had an election, and we elected a new government. After 44 years, we elected a new government, so who knows?
Was Todd McClellan on the board?
Todd McClellan was a representative. I think he won, so
that's good.
Maybe he'll win his second in Edmonton, so we'll see how it goes. He's been interviewed. He's been hot and heavy in that debate, as it seems like Edmonton knows that Mike Babcock, A, will be too much money or is going to wait for a decision because it seems rumor has it, Mike Babcock could be waiting for the Chicago Blackhawks season to end, and then Joe Quenneville will either leave or be pushed out, and then Mike Babcock will take over the Chicago position. Which, if he does,
on earth would Quenneville be pushed out?
Him and the GM Bowman have been at loggerheads for probably the better part of 4 years.
Even though the team has been fantastic,
and that's the reason why he hasn't been fired. Is because the team has been fantastic, so you can't fire a coach after you win a Stanley Cup because that just looks weird. But him and Stan Bowman have been at odds for the longest time, so they're saying that this could be Quenneville's last stand.
Whoa, for the longest time.
There we go, some crooning. I like it.
I have a microphone.
You do, and now I apparently had two on, so. whatever. People just miss me talking about Montana and dad bodies. It's all right.
No,
And I
they
talked
heard
about
you.
dad bodies again. So all right, here we are. They heard me, but not that clear and crisp. Not so fresh and so clean, as the Outcast once said. Talking about fresh and clean. Did you hear about the lease extension at SAP Center in San Jose?
No.
San Jose Sharks and also the San Jose Barracuda, I guess, have signed a extension. Approval by the city till 2040. The
It's a long
Sharks
time.
will stay in that arena, which has already been outdated since '97.
Well, hockey might not even be a thing in 2040.
That'd be crazy if it wasn't. Might not just be
Like-
Nerf hockey.
Yeah, robot hockey.
Ooh, Fox Sports would be ahead of the game. They would already have the robots ready to go.
That's true.
Like, all right, let's put the robots out there.
How would you coach robot hockey, you think? Would you need a real person, or would you need an engineer, or both? Because you wouldn't need trainers anymore, so would you need engineers instead?
I think you would need an IT guy as a head coach, and then an engineer as a athletic trainer.
I like it. I think I need to hold out for
Hold up.
the robot revolution, and I might be able to find myself a job.
What year is this? 2015? Yeah, hold out another 5 years. I think. we'll be okay.
Excellent.
Well,
I mean, BattleBots, it was just a little bit ahead of its time, right?
yeah, it really was. But that was also remote controlled too, so I don't know how that was robot revolutionary.
It's true. We need some AI or something.
Practice? We talking about practice? Wait, wrong AI. Sorry. Although we do need some more Allen Iverson in our life. It's been
We
too
do.
long.
Where has he been?
What's that?
Where has he been?
I think he was over in China playing. To be quite honest with you, with like Stefan Marbury's still over there playing. Yeah, there's a lot of people over there that are still playing that have been long retired from the NBA
Playing.
because they're putting up 40 and 20 in the Chinese league. Allen Iverson's putting up 100-point games day after day.
Good for him.
Yeah, shout out Allen Iverson. Shout out Marty Brodeur, who says that his return to New Jersey could be stalled because Ray Shero is the new GM there. So-
Controversy.
Controversy indeed. As we reported last week, Ray Shero, the new GM of the New Jersey Devils. And Brodeur said that the new direction there could cause him not to join as he once thought he could under Lou Lamoriello. And then he said he could stay where he's at as a special or as an assistant GM in St. Louis, depending on where that all goes. So we'll see where Marty Brodeur does. He's in full front office mode. He could even go to the NHL and just hang out and be player safety dude.
Yeah. What, like a mini Shanahan?
Mini Shanny. Or just be like pad guy. Like he takes over Chris King and Kay Whitmore's job to regulate the size of the pads. Makes them really paper thin. He's like, this is what I wore. This is what I wore, and I felt fine, Kai Sarnett. Yeah, but you didn't play Butterfly, Marty. That's the thing. And Discover. They renewed their sponsorship with the NHL and came out with new cards, apparently. Now you can go ahead and get yourself a Discover card, which apparently really hard to get, but you can get it with the NH Shield or one of your favorite 30 teams in the NHL. So Discover card, multi-year agreement with the NHL. Get that IT card, and good times.
I'm all in on those Discover commercials. What about you, Scotty? Are you a Discover commercial or are you a Geico commercial guy?
Considering I don't see either unless I watch American broadcast, I'm more of a Discover one because they switch it up. The Geico ones I've been seeing during the broadcast have been the Nick Backstrom doing stuff. He's either skating on ice or shooting at ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, I like Nick Backstrom, but come on, like three times a period, I don't need that.
Yeah, that's pretty much the consensus. We're done with Geico.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Backstrom, but come on, we're done here.
Got to make Geico with your money.
Where do you know where they filmed those commercials, right?
Was that Kettler?
That was the Laurel Ice Gardens.
Was it Laurel? Holy
Yeah.
Dinah. I'm surprised the neon sign for the Icebreakers Cafe wasn't in the background.
They must have edited that in post.
Yeah. Guys, this is way too bright. I don't know what we're doing here.
But I really want a slice of pizza.
I want a really bad slice of pizza and a terrible hot chocolate. And why is Craig Laughlin's office over here? Wait a minute. This is amazing. Good job, Craig. All right. We should probably get Lyle on, I guess.
Oh wow, it's 8:30. Would you look at that?
I guess. I don't even know what the score of the game is, to be quite honest with you. Jesus Christ, how the hell... That's not the right Lyle Richardson I want.
But there's another Lyle Richardson?
There's like several of them.
Oh jeez.
Oh, jeez. Oh, golly.
Oh jeez. Well, in the
Oh,
meantime, let me read off the NHL scoreboard, brought to you by
No one.
no one. And at the end of the first period, your Montreal Canadiens are trailing the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0. Tampa Bay has 13 shots on goal. Montreal has 6. What a barn burner.
Woof. Woof. So Lyle's going to be in a mood when we get to him.
Yeah.
Jen is going to be in a nice mood when I talk to her tonight.
Well, it's only the end of the first period.
Dude, she started freaking out today. She's like, they're going to fucking lose, and I know it, and it's going to be terrible. I'm like, oh, okay.
So she's a Canadiens fan?
Yeah, very. Like, she was. Here's how like hardcore she is. Before I called her in to do Hockey Erotica on Wednesday, she was watching the broadcast in French and yelling at the computer screen in French.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. So, yeah, she is, and she's also a Wild fan, but she kind of resigned herself to the fact that the Wild probably weren't going to do shit for Shinola. What were the two things I was going to ask Lyle about? Oh yeah, social media and dad bodies. What are the things we're going to talk about? Social media and dad bodies. Done. Posted the invitation. Hey, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with a great 28 days later beard. Wow, Richardson.
Well, you didn't comment about my beard. You commented about his beard.
Because your beard's been there forever and a day. You're not doing a special for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
But you have a fine beard, Lyle. It's, or Mark. It's not salt and peppered like Lyle. So you
No, it isn't seasoned. That's another Geico commercial.
Little salt and
Yeah.
pepper reference there for you.
Very
Yeah.
Geico commercial. All right,
Very Geico.
2 points of topics we want to get your opinion on.
Yes.
First off, Marcus talked about him going off on social media and him being sad about it, and I said, don't worry, you're not missing much. Lyle's done the same thing because it's a fucking cesspool now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, listen, I keep using Facebook, of course, because Facebook you can control who will,
Sure.
you can converse with. I suppose you can do the same thing with Twitter, but it kind of limits it, so especially if you're using it to kind of promote your work. So I just use it just solely for that, and try and keep the personal stuff off of there as much as possible, so that I don't get trolled and consequently lead me to get very disgusted with the human race as a whole. So.
There you go. All right, Seeley, you're not missing much.
It's always good to feel that way about something you voluntarily signed up for.
I know. You can leave at any time.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's the thing. I mean, when I signed up on Facebook on Twitter 6 years ago, I mean, it was quite an enjoyable place, and there were only a few trolls. There, people whose whole, center of their being wasn't, posting tweets that various forms of the version of "you suck," know, it was but nah. The past year and a half, I've just been like,
Well, it's been the
So
thing
tired.
where it's just like everyone has a voice now, and they're gonna make their voice known, and
no matter how stupid or inane.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it is what it is. Yeah, social media. And I said it's easier to throw out good one-liners on Twitter than it is to spam people on Facebook. Facebook, you just make a little update and then go from there. But Twitter, you can just, like me, I just throw out stupid lines, and sometimes they stick. And go ahead from there. Also, dad bod, the dad bod phenomenon, Lyle. I know you're like me, you're super glad about this happening because we're ahead of the curve for once. In terms of body trends, your thoughts on how we're now the sexiest men alive? Let's be honest. Hold on. let me preference this.
All of this, baby.
We
All
already
of
knew
this.
you were. This sees the world
Wow.
finally
Yeah.
catching up to our thoughts.
Exactly, and it took them long enough. That's all I can say. You got to be a dad, though. You got to be a dad. If you have a dad bod and you're not a dad, then you're just sad.
A lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
I also think you need the puns too. I think you need
Yeah.
the kid and the puns, and I'm covered, so I'm fine. I have one kid that I know about, so
The thing is it's just when I read that last week, I just had to laugh. I was like, okay, well, I figured it was only a matter of time before something like this was going to happen. Yes, men who look a little chunky, but not too chunky, got a spare tire, but otherwise, look like they can, change your oil for you or cut down a tree with a chainsaw.
They're gonna be widely mistaken when they get to me. Jesus. I can barely change the channel on my radio.
You're not handicapped, you're handy-capable.
You're not lying.
Mark liked that one.
See, Mark's not a sandbagging son of a bitch like the
No.
woman I was with last week. Jesus Christ, Jen.
Yeah, the dad bod. Okay, yeah. A couple of years ago, that was known as you got a body like a bag of milk, but whatever.
Exactly. And now our
Now
pasty
it's-
whiteness is finally.
The pasty whiteness is now sexy, and you know it. So there you go.
All right, and also one more thing. Crooner. What's the definition of crooner to you?
Crooner. Well, since I'm an old guy, somebody who croons songs.
Would Sting or Paul McCartney be on that list?
No, Paul
See-
McCartney, not a crooner. Sorry, not.
Wikipedia needs to update that because they're not crooners.
Yeah, he's definitely not a crooner.
We were talking about Bing Crosby beating people with oranges.
Well,
that
yeah.
came up, so-
He was a very, very, very violent person to members of his family, but he could croon.
Great singer.
He could
Great
croon.
singer, Lyle. I can't take that
Oh,
away
yeah,
from him.
he could croon. White Christmas is still one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time. So.
And also, he had the best adaptation. There was a Fox Kids show called Tasmania, and it was the Tasmanian Devil and his family. And the basis for the dad was Bing Crosby, and his punchline was like, "Don't worry about it, Taz. Just have yourself a nice tall glass of OJ." He was really pushing the orange juice, and I'm like, "That's." Looking back on it, that was pretty stealthy of those bastards.
Yes, it
Put
was.
that line in.
Yes,
So-
it was.
Shout out Fox Kids. They had good. They had Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs. Come on.
Oh, Animaniacs were great.
The best, and it's
I
still
loved
on TVs.
Animaniacs. Yes. Zany
the-
to the max. They have baloney in their slacks. They're Animaniacs.
It's on the Teletoon Retro. I think every day at like 4:30 Mountain.
There you go.
Or 4 o'clock Mountain, so 6 o'clock East. So 8 o'clock the next day for Lyle.
There you go.
Time works out. Yeah.
How time works, yeah.
I need to know how this works though, Lyle, and what this could mean for the implications for further prospects. Austin Matthews has said, who's the consensus number one overall pick for next year's draft, 2016, says that he is looking options not only the WHL for the Everett Silvertips, who hold his rights, the NCAA route, but also Europe, Switzerland in particular.
Mhm.
Now, we've seen a lot of this with NBA guys for kids who don't want to play college. They'll go over to Europe for a year or two, make their bank, and then come over and get drafted in the NBA. Is this a trend, if this happens, which is a big if at this point,
Sure.
is this going to start something with the younger folk on maybe looking at Europe as a better option rather than going the NCAA or major junior route?
It certainly could be. In fact, I've been waiting. To be honest, I've been waiting for something like this to happen for the last 8 years. In fact, for the last 10. Initially, as we all recall, when the horrible season-killing lockout of 04-05 was going on, there was talk of Sidney Crosby perhaps doing that. Taking off over to Europe, playing maybe for a year or two, and then coming back and signing with an NHL team. Now, Crosby's whole thing at the time was NHL and only NHL, of course. But I listen. It was only a matter of time until we saw a top prospect, do this sort of thing. Just say, I want to check out my options, and here's a chance for me to make some money overseas. Play in a high caliber league with professionals. Why not? So, I mean, if he actually goes through with this and actually does this, perhaps it could start the thing for me would have been if Connor McDavid had decided to do that, or Jack Eichel. If those two guys decided that they want to do that, that would have just been monumentally huge. It would just been like, draft the NHL, okay, but I'm gonna, I'm signing over here with the Swedish Elite League for a couple of years, just to hone my skills before I come to the NHL. So I'm really ready. Now, in a case of a guy like McDavid and to a slightly lesser extent Eichel, we know they're ready to play at the NHL level. Jack Eichel, by the way, playing very well for Team USA over in the Worlds right now, drawing lots of positive reviews from his teammates. But just to sum it up quickly, if he actually if Matthews actually decides to do this, that could be sort of the tipping point, if you will, that we start to see perhaps this becoming a little bit more of a trend where that becomes an additional option for prospects.
Would he have to go over there and succeed, or just go over there in general?
Well, succeeding will certainly help. I mean, it will definitely elevate your stock if you go over, whether it's the KHL, the Swedish league, the Swiss National League A, any of them, like, if you go over to any of the top European leagues and you perform well, it certainly is going to help your stock before you come over, and it will improve your game. I think Kuznetsov deciding to stay to play in the KHL for a couple of years, I think Capitals fans would probably agree that worked out quite well for his development. I mean, he certainly made the transition to the NHL a lot more smoothly.
Let's just see what happens tomorrow night. Let's see what happens tomorrow night.
He's playing very well tonight, man. Listen,
trust me, he's playing better than number 8 and number 19.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Dinah.
I'm by the way, I'm sorry. I'm so very, very sorry.
No, we knew this was going to
happen. I couldn't resist the Doctor Who meme for that yesterday. I couldn't resist. But
we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We knew the minute they went up 3-1 last Wednesday, this was going to happen.
Oh yeah, you guys were.
guys knew it.
Well, I mean, Mark, you weren't here, but I could just imagine your thoughts because, I mean, Scotty and Johnny were just,
What, on Wednesday?
Yeah. Not Wednesday. Was it
was
Wednesday
good.
or Thursday?
Wednesday was a fantastic game.
Yeah, no, but when we knew when they were up
when they went up 3-1.
They went up 3-1. We knew. We knew.
Yeah, you guys were going, well, that's good, but. That history, and it's just sort of like,
It's just like, you can't. It's like it is an abusive relationship.
Oh my God!
Too high with the highs, because just like around the corner tomorrow, you're gonna be at the bottom of the staircase.
Curtis. Wow.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
Too far. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'll accept the analogy, but that's a little line. That's worse
than my
You were right up to the line, but
God.
you didn't cross it. You were right up to it, but you didn't cross it.
Okay, good.
That's okay. Yeah. But
I was going to say, Curtis Glencross put himself in the Caps "We Hate You, Goddammit" lexicon with the pads up the middle.
And so, and after he had, he had come so close to putting himself into the "we love you," we love you forever when he scored on his breakaway, picked up the rebound on his own breakaway to make it 1-0, and everything looked all rosy, and just like that,
well,
it's gone.
It's funny. I think we were watching games 3 or one of the game. Yeah, it was game 3 because game 4 we were on the air. Game 3 and Jen and I was watching. I think I yelled at one of the guys. I think it was Tim Gleason, as I am wont to do. And then I yelled at him saying he's worthless and he shouldn't be on the ice and he should be in the press box. And then he made a good play. I'm like, you son of a bitch, God love you. She's like, how do you do that? I'm like, don't worry, we're like this with everybody. Go from the highest highs to the lowest lows and vice versa very easily in Caps fan.
I have been, it's well documented, my hatred of Marcus Johansson until he does something really well or really good. Actually, both work in that particular case. When he does something good and he does something well. But,
Yes.
Can I just say, Mark, I'm currently working on a piece for the most underrated free agents going into this offseason. So I was going through, checking out all the teams now because I can only pick 10. So I'm going through all the teams, and of course I see Marcus Johansson. Now, obviously, Marcus Johansson is not an underrated free agent, but it just, when I was looking at that, I was looking at the stats, I was like, oh, no way. And in the back of my mind, I can hear Mark say, don't you fucking dare. Don't you?
No.
I will
Lyle.
tear you to pieces if you
Lyle.
put him as the most underrated, among the most underrated free agents.
No, Lyle, I'm gonna actually flip this on you. Put him on the list. Somebody will pay way too much money for him because they saw him on your list.
Oh yeah, like I hold that kind of sway.
Lyle's got all the power in
I got all the power, yeah.
Hey, if it's on Bleacher Report, it sees a lot. There's a lot of eyes that come through Bleacher Report, and I'm sure Ray Sherrow's one of them.
A lot of people.
God, if the Devils pick him up, that'd be the best thing ever.
Oh, but he's a restricted free agent, so and the Capitals aren't pressed
Good.
for cap space.
Even
so.
better, pay him a shit ton of money and then give us draft picks.
Exactly. Give us draft picks.
Oh man, maybe they'll trade him. And your pain will be relieved.
Yeah, Stanislav
dream
Galiev
trade-
late in Hershey.
My dream trade would have been getting Kessler when they were trying to get rid of Kessler for Neuvert and Mojo. God, that would have been fantastic.
But unfortunately for you, Jim Benning isn't an idiot, so he didn't go for that one. It's so close. And okay,
Worked out so well on the message boards.
Yes. Oh, nothing. It's just start of the second period.
Oh,
Still,
okay.
Tampa Bay still up 1-0. It was it was a really good goal. Like it's like they were saying, boy, in this series, the goals lately, it's just game of inches because right under the bar on a deflection, there was nothing Price could do on it from Kucherov. Though I blame again Emelin. Once again, with a stupid giveaway, which led to a goal in his own zone. I understand why Montreal hangs on to this guy because he really is the closest thing they have to a shutdown defenseman.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. I know why they keep him, but it's just, oh, man. And then he does stuff like that, and you just, oh. But anyway. It's just like, yeah, Emelin again. Okay, fine. But, I mean, hey, 1-0 being down 1-0, not bad. Could be worse. Listen, for me right now, even if Montreal loses, hey, at least they didn't get swept. They pushed this thing farther than people expected, so we can at least live with that. And maybe this will motivate Marc Bergevin to go out and get, as I said before, try and find, oh God, and I know how hard it is to do, try and find a true first-line center and a true shutdown defenseman.
You know what I do if the Canadians lose tonight? This is me. Not only do I go ahead and try to start looking for first line defenseman, I go ahead and I look for the best place in Montreal to get French classes and to get bilingual. And then I contact Mike Babcock and say, listen, we'll give you $6 million over 5 years. We got a class for you. Do it! And then away we go.
Listen. I had a brief interaction with Andrew Berkshire of Habs Eyes on the Prize blog today because he posted something up about hey, maybe if maybe Mike Babcock would want to come to Montreal, and it's just the Canadians are not going to fire Michel Therrien. They're not going to fire. Marc Bergevin is not firing Michel Therrien. It's not going to happen. I understand the frustration. I certainly understand some of the criticism, not all of it, but some of it. I certainly understand of Therrien, but they're not going to replace him. And if even if Mike Babcock calls up Bergevin and said, I'd love to come and coach in Montreal, it's not going to happen. It's not happening. Because Babcock isn't going to call Montreal and say, yeah, I want to come coach. It's not happening. So put that fantasy out of your mind, kids. It's not going to happen. What Bergevin needs to do, as I said, needs to find himself try and find himself a true first-line center and or a true, top pairing shutdown guy because Emelin is he's just killing me. But for nothing else, man, for me, because you're killing me.
When did the Babcock? Who put the Babcock to Chicago rumor out there?
Somebody who was devious. Wasn't me. Somebody who was devious, who tried to stir up crap. He's not going to Chicago. Chicago's not firing Joel Quenneville. For God's sake. Come on, people.
Yeah, Scott was trying to put that on me today, and I didn't do one second of
I'm
it.
just saying. Look, the Bowmans and the Quinvilles have been like the Montagues and Capulets.
Finkel's and the Einhorns.
Yeah, the Finkel's and the Einhorns. They've been
Finkel's
very
and
both
Einhorns.
ways about it.
Einhorns and Finkel's. Yeah.
I was trying to think of a better reference, the Southern reference. The what was it? The McCoys. What was it? Hatfield and McCoy.
Hatfields and McCoys. That's feuding. Yeah. But
I think it was Hatfield, not like James Hetfield.
not James Hetfield. No.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
when Mike Babcock signs with Chicago, it'd be great swerve.
It would be.
Wow.
That would be one hell of a swerve. That would
Yeah,
be one hell of a swerve.
I think Quenneville is basically going to have to leave on his own accord, especially if they get to the Cup Finals for like a fourth or for like a third time.
Oh,
in 5
yeah.
years.
He doesn't even have to win. Just get to the Cup final again. I mean, God, he's not going anywhere. He's not going to be going anywhere.
It'd be great
Yeah.
if he went somewhere and he waited until September to really screw Stan Bowman over, and then has to hire Dallas Eakins.
Because all the good coaches are gone.
Yeah, all of them are gone.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I mean,
It's
Toronto,
surprising.
Toronto's still, Toronto, they're still crossing fingers and toes, hoping he will come to the promised land. Please, Babcock, come to the promised land.
I was surprised.
Deliver
With,
us from evil.
I was surprised with the Buffalo visit until I realized that apparently him and Tim Murray have a kinship or something. So
Whatever. I mean, right now, God, he's being named to go to half the teams in the league. I mean, there was talk of Edmonton, though. That sounds like that's going to be Canada in a big hurry
Todd
because
McCullen's job.
yeah, it's starting to sound more and more like top, and that's a good pick.
Yeah.
If they sign him, oh, listen, nobody's going to turn around and go, you should have held out for Babcock. It's like probably the reason why he didn't hold out for Babcock is because he knew he wasn't going to get Babcock. So, grab the next available guy as quickly as you can, and that's Todd McClellan, excellent choice to come to Edmonton.
How long has it been since a coach was treated as the best free agent on the market?
Oh my
Been a while.
God! Yeah, it has. It has. Ah, jeez.
I want to say, was it Scotty Bowman before he went to Detroit? Maybe.
Oh, that would have been, that was before free agency was really a thing.
Really a thing, yeah.
Yeah, that was in the early 90s, so, geez, I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's a good question, Mark. I don't know. That's a puzzler. That's a puzzler. Get Jen the history girl on it.
Yep.
She's yelling in French at her computer. She's had enough of this Canadians team.
For this year, because they get your hopes up and then they
exactly.
crush them.
It's funny. She said, "I hope your team wins on Monday." She told me on Sunday. She's like, before I was going to bed, she's like, "I hope your team wins." I'm like, "We know they're not."
Oh, we know that.
I wake up, it's 4-3. They lose. I'm like, "Of course they did. Why wouldn't they?"
This is the thing. The Face Off Hockey Show right now tonight is just this pool of sadness, because our favorite teams are not. We know they're not going to win. That's the sad thing. We know they're not going to win. I know the Canadians aren't going to win. You Capitals fans know your team isn't going to win. Again, that's like when I put that meme up with the Doctor Who on my thing saying, "I'm sorry, I'm very, very sorry." It wasn't to be malicious. It was like,
No, it was
oh
very
God,
controlling.
oh God,
But Lyle, here's the thing, and this is just me. I think if they don't get blown out, it's a victory. If they don't lose 5-0 or 7-2 like they have in past Game 7s,
that would be cruel.
I'll be fine.
That would be
I don't
cool.
know what's more cruel, like giving us hope until the
Yeah.
very end. And
Yeah,
then
there's
making
that
it
point though too, isn't it? It's hard,
But
isn't
that
it?
way, Ovechkin's words saying that.
And it's 2-0 on a goal by
boy.
Steven Stamkos. Well, you could see this coming. The first 5 minutes of this period have been all Tampa Bay. Montreal's barely gotten out of their own zone,
Wow.
so no surprises there. No, it's just bridge too far. It's just a bridge too far for Montreal. It's the thing. It's a bridge too far for most teams. I know that yes, we've seen in the last 5 years, two teams have rallied back from 0-3 deficits to win a series. And yeah, it says a lot for the parity in the NHL that you can see that more often than not, that a lot of these games and series are really close and no big lead is really all that safe. But again, a 3-0 series lead, it's still a very deep hole to climb out of. Very deep hole. I mean, the Ottawa Senators found that out in the last series, And as I said, there's been a lot of other teams too. So while it may have happened with a little bit more frequency than what we've been used to seeing in NHL history, it's still a bridge too far in most cases.
I'm looking at the replay in your Gemini Award behind
Oh,
your
thank you.
shoulder there, and it looked like a nice little toe drag that Stamkos had before he fired.
Stammer, yeah. But it's like I said, the Habs, the Lightning just kept the Habs penned in all in the first 5 minutes of this period. Like while I was talking to you, I was keeping an eye on this, and all I could think was, they can't get the puck out. They're absolutely stuck, and it's just The Lightning have found that other gear, and unless they just decide to sit back on the lead and get lazy, which I don't think they're going to do, I think this one's pretty much done.
Who gives Tampa Bay a better matchup?
Oh God.
Because the goalies in both series, for both Lundqvist and Holtby, have been really good.
Yeah, and by the same token, I'd like to think that Washington would give them a harder go. I'd like to think that.
Everyone else,
but
we just hope that we're going to lose.
I know.
And we're not going to get to the conference final since '98. And if they're
okay, so it's going to be Okay, so we know it's Rangers and Lightning in the Eastern Conference Final. Okay. It really doesn't matter, And then whoever they run into in the Stanley Cup Final is going to crush them like bugs. So there you go.
It's a West division. It's a
of
West.
Of course it is.
Issue.
Anaheim, whether it's Anaheim or Chicago, I mean, pick your poison because they're the guys that are going to win this thing. I'm sorry, but it is. I mean, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay's got they've got a lot of skill, talent, a lot of speed. Ben Bishop, when he's on his game, is fantastic. But, I look at a team like Chicago with all that depth and talent and all that experience, and I'm like, how the Christ is Tampa Bay getting past that? And, you think, well, what about their chances against the Ducks? And I'm like, man, the Ducks are just going to grind them down because if there's one thing that I've noticed, in this series against Montreal and in the previous series they had against Detroit, Tampa Bay struggles against physical defensive play. I mean, really physical defensive play, because Detroit did a terrific job, I thought, for half of that series. The second half of that series, they just started ramping it up, taking away the neutral zone and just pounding them at every chance they could get. Now Montreal outplayed Tampa Bay through most of this series. It's just, as I said, they just, I'm sorry, but the Lightning just got fortunate to go up 3-0 like they did. But if they manage to get past the Rangers or Capitals, to get to the Stanley Cup Final, I don't see how they can beat Chicago or Anaheim, because Anaheim will just pound the crap out of them, and Chicago, as I said, has just all that depth and experience. So,
I will say this: the off chance that the Capitals actually play like a goddamn team, and they follow. Ovechkin has a 3-point night, which is something he hasn't done in a while and hasn't scored since Game 2. If he's able to pull this out, if he's able to go and Mark Messier and get the award after he retires, I don't know what I'll do.
Leadership award.
Like I honestly could go ahead and actually believe in this team. If they win tomorrow night, I could believe in this Caps team, which could be worse. Which could be worse than what they're doing to me now, because I know this is going to happen. I knew when they were up 3-1, and the CBC guys are saying, "Oh, the Rangers just playing in a seat of doubt." Let me go fuck yourself. They're up 3-1. You don't have to tell me. I've lived through this for the past 25 years. I don't need you to tell him. I've lived and died with this team. Peter Nedved scored in 3 overtimes as that comeback happened. Then you got stupid Asa Tegan can't fucking buy an open net. Pat LaFontaine's been haunting my nightmares. That's just terrible management choices. He makes terrible management choices, and then he scored on us in '87. They don't need to give me hope, live. They give me hope.
I'm not going to give you hope. I'm not
No,
going to
I
give
know
you hope.
you're not. But if they win tomorrow and they give me hope for this conference final,
Oh,
Lyle,
Oh.
I was thinking on that long drive back from Montana when that team was up 3-1. What if this team actually did it? What if this team was a team of destiny? They closed it out in 5. They went on and they won the conference final, and they actually won a Stanley Cup. And that broke my heart more than tomorrow. Thinking about that team winning a Stanley Cup broke my heart more than what's going to happen tomorrow. And I hope,
wow.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this goes to fruition, and I can fly back to D.C. and join the parade. Like, the Wizards and the Capitals won championships. And then come back in February when the Redskins win. But I know it's all a dreamland, so I'm not concerned about it. I can save on flight, but I don't get the freaking flyer miles, which kind of sucks. If they win tomorrow night, that'll be worse than them losing tomorrow night. If they win tomorrow night, it's worse than if they would lose.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I'm saying that. Like, even now,
I do because of the agony. I know.
It's stupid, and this is why Jen thinks I'm crazy for rooting for the Caps. Like, how do you do this? It's not even this bad. I'm like, I know, but I know deep down in my heart, this team is going to give me hope, and then giving me hope and making me feel happy is the worst thing ever.
They're gonna come out and they're gonna put like 12 shots on goal in the first period. And they're gonna get a power play opportunity within like the first 5 minutes of the game, just because they're gonna come out strong.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Barry Trotz waited until the last 8 minutes of the game to really mix things up, and I guarantee you he saw whatever he did worked. Mm-hmm. So he's probably going to change quite a bit about how the Caps come out in the first period. Yeah. Caps might even get the first goal, but then there's going to be 2 bad turnovers in like back-to-back shifts, and it's going to go from 1-0 and everyone's freaking out to 2-1 in a heartbeat.
That's exactly how it's going to play out. If they go up 1-0, I'm turning it off and just not going online for a couple days.
Yeah.
Till the conference finals start, and then maybe I'll click on and see that the Caps actually did win.
You won't be able to avoid that, Scott. You know you won't be able to avoid it.
I will literally.
You'll go to work. You'll go to work and somebody will say, "Boy, the Rangers really kicked the Caps ass last night," and we'll find that you've been arrested. And
tonight's my last night until Saturday, so I can shut myself off of everything until Friday night. I can shut myself everything until Friday night when the Western Conference Final is probably going to start. And then I can just shut myself off, and then Friday.
You know that's not going to happen. You know this. You know that. You know no matter what you do to try and keep yourself hermetically sealed.
Game. It's going to be a 0-0 game until double overtime, and then some jamoke like Jesper Fest is going to score. I'm going to hate him for the rest of my life.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ! Man. You know what? Fuck Jesper Fest. Fuck that guy already.
Sounds like a bad incidental character in Star Wars, for God's sake.
Him and JT Miller are going to be the 2 guys that haunt my dreams this year.
Oh man.
So Devin Dubnyk in the Wild, Lyle.
Yes,
what
sir.
Is their contract discussion? As we obviously transition perfectly into this.
Yeah, such a smooth segue. It's both sides want to get a deal done. No surprise there. Dubnyk said that he doesn't want to play anywhere else. He's very happy at Minnesota. The Wild obviously want to keep him. The deal here is it's going to be trying to sort out. I don't think money's going to be the big issue. I think anything between $4 and $5 million per season gets it done. It's just going to be term. And I think that's where the Wild have to be careful. I can say Caps because I got Caps on the brain because of your rant. But anyway, I think they got to be careful here. If they can get him to agree to a 2 to 3 year deal, I'd even be a little leery going to 3, but that you could at least handle. Okay, you don't, for God's sake, don't turn around and sign him for anything beyond that, because, I mean, listen, full props to Dubnyk for saving his career, turning it around with the big assist from Sean Burke in Arizona. Obviously, you can't forget how well he played there. But what he did in Minnesota the second half of the season was just phenomenal and got himself a Vezina nomination. He's not going to win. That's Carey Price's. We all know that. But can he do that again? That's the question. It's kind of it's almost like he's a version of Andrew Hammond. You know what I mean? Though, Andrew Hammond's much less worse because Andrew Hammond was like, okay, 23 games in the regular season. You can't base a long-term contract off of that. At least Dubnyk's been around the league a little bit, and he did have some decent numbers, save percentage numbers when he was with the god-awful Oilers, So you could say, well, the potential's always been there, and now that he's finally on a really good team, he's blossoming. But I think it's 2 to 3 years. I think should be the thing they should look at. Maybe try and keep it around $4 million a season, and see how things play out after that. And if it works out fine, then maybe you can talk more money in a little longer term.
You got to figure the crease is less crowded because obviously they're going to try to get rid of Backstrom. I don't know who they're going to do, what they're going to do with him, if they're going to buy him out, or if they're
he's a buy. Well, I mean, if you can find somebody who'll take him on trade, they'll have to pick up part of his salary to do it. But if you can find somebody to take him on trade, fine. But that's even the pundits in Minnesota know that's a long shot. So I think a buyout's going to happen.
And then the news today that Josh Harding is going to retire after he couldn't with that sclerosis thing, which I'm not surprised. He gave it a valiant effort in trying to balance all the medicines and stuff like that. But I mean, you look at what Jordan Siglet tried to do when he was with the Boston Bruins organization. That's when he has MS too, and now he's a goalie coach or was a goalie coach for the Flames. And that's a rough thing to do in a sport like that, in a position like that. So I'm not. Not at all surprised by that, but he gave it a good go, and Josh Harding was a good story. He was a great story for the time he had. So here we are. Staying with goalies and staying with Andrew Hammond. Matt O'Connor, Boston University, top college prospect, goes to the Ottawa Senators. What does this mean for everything around? Because obviously you had to think that of the two goalies that are still available, are still on the roster, 2 years left for Robin Lehner, 3 years left for Craig Anderson, but Lehner does have the concussion issue right now. Andrew Hammond his agent's trying to go through the history books to find how the hell there's a comparable for his situation. So I mean, what does this mean for the crease? It's a crowded crease there in Ottawa. What does this mean for O'Connor? What does this mean for the team as a whole? What kind of work does Brian Murray have to put in to make this all work out all hunkadory? Yeah,
well, we know that a trade's going to happen. They got a lot of goaltenders now, and good on Ottawa, by the way, for winning the Matt O'Connor sweepstakes. It obviously, I think, indicates Matt O'Connor's going to be there for when Craig Anderson is finally ready to move on with his career. But they're going to have to move somebody, and especially if they re-sign Andrew Hammond. I mean, I don't think anything's. They're going to, obviously they're not going to make any move right now until once they determine if they can get Hammond under contract. Now Hammond wants to stay in Ottawa, but I mean the Senators. It's like I said, Hammond was a wonderful story, but the guy only has something like he has less than 30 games of NHL experience under his belt. And you got to wonder, is what he did to save the Senator season, is that an indication of what's to come, or just indicative of a one-year wonder? And if you don't want to commit yourself too much for too long to a one-year wonder. So, I mean, they're fortunate enough to be in a situation where they already have an established tandem in Craig Anderson and Robin Lehner. So if they don't re-sign him, then fine. They come out next season with Anderson and Lehner and go again, and hope that both those guys can finally stay healthy for a change. O'Connor's going to be playing next season in Binghamton. That's already been decided. He will not be making the jump to the NHL next year. They want him to get a year of a professional experience at the AHL level. Smart thing to do. You don't want to throw the kid into the fire. Though if Lehner and Anderson get injured again, who knows? Maybe he gets that call. But all things being equal, he'll be spending the season in Binghamton. So you re-sign, if you re-sign him, and that means one of those two guys have got to go, Anderson or Lehner, and I think it's going to be Lehner. That seems to be the consensus out of Ottawa. Despite the concussion history that he has, And the injuries, he's still 24. He's got quite a bit of upside still. Craig Anderson, yes, he's been the better goaltender of the two thus far, but he also has an injury history, and he's in his his early to approaching his mid-30s. So that might kind of scare some teams off. And the fact too that I think the Senators are really, if push really comes to shove, I think they're more sold on Anderson than they are on Lehner at this point. Part of that, which would explain part of the reason why they decided to get into the bidding for Matt O'Connor. So Hammond gets signed. I think it's Lehner that hits the trade block this summer.
And I think this is a team that traded Ben Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Or they let Ben Bishop walk. Or no, they traded him because Corey Connor.
They traded him, but they just got a crap return. That's all. So.
Yeah, they did. Boy, oh boy. Still, the Caps are still giving me hope. I'm sorry, boys. I can't get this out of my head. I'm already thinking. I was thinking about tomorrow on Sunday.
Who's gonna score the first goal, Scotty?
Oh,
And I can't get it out
you know who's
of
going to score the
my
first
head.
goal?
Each team, one from each team.
To torment me. All right, you know what? For the Rangers, I'll say Derek Stepan. He's played. I can't say anything. He's played amazing.
Jasper Feth.
He's going to be haunting my nightmares. But that pass that Stepan gave to McDonough, in Game 5, that was pretty amazing. That was a nice little drop pass to make it 3-2. And just to torment me, Tim Gleason's going to score for the Caps. Tim Gleason for the first goal for the Caps.
Gleason might not even play. He might not even be able to play tomorrow night. That's why they called it. That's talk of why they called up Nate Schmidt.
Oh God! If Nate Schmidt comes in and Nate Schmidt wearing the double eights has a Patrick King performance back on defense and scores 3 goals, 2 assists.
You don't want much.
No.
Listen, Lyle, I don't ask for much.
No.
Anything less than a 4-point night from number 8, I'm fucking getting the hell out of here and going and beat. He is not like. Somebody mentioned to me. I mentioned something about Game 7 on Sunday. And I think it was Rachel who said, when is Ovechkin getting out of Washington so he can go to a cup contender? I'm thinking to myself, he's not doing well at all.
No.
He's gotten 0 points in 4 games, only 2 goals in his last 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he's almost part of the problem. Like, he's a superstar guy who's not putting up. He's trying.
He's not putting up the numbers. I mean, he has played better. His overall, his all-around game has improved this year. I haven't heard anybody complain, like in previous years, gone, there's part of the problem. Ovechkin's not back checking. Ovechkin's, blah blah blah. If you're not going to score, at least you can try and back check and help your team.
Better, sure, but he's not a tangibles guy. He's a numbers guy.
He's the guy. You got him there to score, and if he's not scoring, they're in trouble. And Backstrom's
put him on the Blackhawks, and they couldn't figure out.
And Backstrom's not scoring too. But again, this also goes to the crux of the problem for the Capitals in that they are still essentially a one-line team. Yeah. That was the danger. That was what we talked about this before the playoffs started. I mean, and Mark, you even pointed it out before the playoffs started that the concern is they're still top-heavy, on offense, where it's the first line and then it drops off after that. Now, right. Kuznetsov, God love him. I mean, you guys got yourself a terrific young player there.
I said this about Kuznetsov before you continue.
Yeah, no, go ahead, please.
And this is wild hyperbole probably, but he is one of the smoothest skaters that I've seen since probably Fedorov. It doesn't look like he's trying, and he just skates by everybody.
And one of the slickest puck handlers. I gotta say, I mean, some of those goals that he scored, I mean, it wasn't just Johnny on the spot in the right plate. Like, he created that scoring chance, And it's like his line mates say, he wants that puck. When they get near the net, it's like he wants it. So, I mean, there's hope to build a really good second line around this guy. But, they've got to build up a good second line because you're seeing it right now. The book on the Capitals has always been if you shut down the Ovechkin line, you shut down the Capitals, and now that increases your chances of winning. And we're seeing it in this series. As this series has gone on, we're seeing it. And I mean, God love them. They're trying their guts out, but there's just not enough scoring punch there. That defensively they've been fantastic. Which you would expect. I mean, Braden Holtby's been terrific in goal. Defensively, they've been fantastic. But You know,
I still
they,
don't
they
like the
lack
money
that
for-
scoring punch.
I don't like that money for Orpik and Niskanen, but they've changed that room around
Yeah.
in terms of how to think.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, we were like, yeah, they got a lot of criticism, and I was among them too, going, oh, too much money, especially for Orpik. But man, they've silenced critics like me. I can't complain at all about what they brought to that team, to the Capitals. Now, if they can just score, you know, that changes everything.
I wonder if, and this has been said many a time for the Caps, a second line center for Burakovsky and Kuznetsov next year. Like I think that could be a number one priority.
Mhm.
You put those two together, and Burakovsky's been playing really well.
Has he ever, like I said, since they brought him up for the playoffs, I've been very impressed with him. And I mean, you know, not just offensively. I mean, geez, I've been impressed with his shot blocking. Like he just willingly, you know, but he does it smart. But does it smart? You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a lot of forwards who will block shots, but you know, when they're a skill guy, and you know, he's kind of a skill guy, you know, it's almost like half-hearted, or they do it really sloppy and they put themselves at risk of injury. But he does it really smart, you know, stay square to the shooter. If he turns, he'll just angle his body slightly, you know what I mean? And he doesn't make these reckless dives in front of the puck which could hurt you. So he's a very smart shot blocker, as well as having some pretty nifty offensive skills. So yeah, if they can get themselves a good second line center to put between those two kids, then maybe you got something. But that's something for this summer.
The Ontario Hockey League system, let me tell you those areas.
Oh man! And as we wind down in the second period, it's still 2-0, and yeah, I'm not seeing much signs of offensive life from Montreal. So, hey, there's still a third period. They still have a chance, but I'm just not seeing it.
The barrels of fun.
Wee.
General Fanager, Lyle. What do you think of this site?
I like it. You know, it looks really, really good. Could definitely be a worthy successor to CapGeek if they keep it, you know, up to date constantly. You know, maybe they can work out some of the other little bugs or issues that they've got there. You know. So like, you know, explaining cat rules and things like that. But so far, what I've seen of it, I like what I've seen. In fact, I you know, retweeted the link a couple of times there, just, you know, threw it out there to my followers to just, so hey, listen, check this out. And it's starting to get some word about. In fact, Greg Custance of ESPN.com, he recently referenced it. So, you know, if it starts picking up some cred in the media here, they could have themselves a winner. And thank God. Because, I mean, no offense to some of the other sites that have been out there, but they just haven't had the details that CapGeek had. And, you know, General Fanager certainly seems to be well positioned to be able to fulfill that. So it was only a matter of time. You knew somebody was going to come up and take that over. And again, I think this just goes to show, once again, how the NHL, you know, really kind of blows it. It's like, you know, here was your chance, you know, to have control of a cap site, a salary cap site, and all of that good stuff for your fans, because contrary to what Mr. Bettman believes, NHL fans are really into following player salaries and that, and following the cap, so that they know what their favorite teams can and cannot do. Plus, it's also fun if you got to, you know, want to play fantasy GM and all that good stuff, which was another good thing about CapGeek. But oh, go ahead.
You made the important point where they have to keep up to date. They have to keep on top
oh,
of it if
absolutely.
they're going to succeed.
Absolutely. Now people are willing to be patient with them right now, and they've said, you know, just, you know, please be patient with us. You know, and they've willingly said, look, if you see something wrong, let us know right away, and we'll get on it. And they have been very quick to correct things, to try and keep it up to date. So if they can keep this well maintained, I don't know who's behind this site yet, but whoever's doing it, if they can stay on top of this, they could, you know, we could have ourselves a worthy replacement for the dearly departed CapGeek. But again, as I said, another opportunity that the NHL was slow to recognize. You know, again, say what you will about advanced stats, but there were several bloggers who they were just crushing it with advanced stats up until this past summer, and then those guys got hired away by NHL teams or got hired by the league. You know, so the league drags its feet and eventually comes around. It'll probably take about 10 years before the NHL finally realize, oh, well, maybe we should put something out for the fans to follow for salaries. Yep. But until they do, yeah.
But you have to figure that's how also TSN has their new staff.
And it's 3-0.
Oh, there we go.
That's it.
There it is.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. Minute
You don't have
4
to
remaining
go
in the
home.
second, and it's 3-0 Tampa Bay.
Don't have to go home. You gotta get the hell up out of here.
Cinderella ain't left yet, but that coach is awaiting, and it turns into a pumpkin in about 21 minutes. So.
Also, breaking news: Mike
Fix it.
Babcock getting cell phone calls from Montreal numbers. Interesting. Interesting. We'll develop that more next.
No, you're never gonna get him. Never gonna get him.
How big of a
You're
swerve
never
would it be
gonna
if Calgary fired Hartley and then got what's his name? If Calgary fired Hartley and they got Babcock.
Oh, you know that's not going to. Oh, and yeah, there's a very unhappy GM sitting up there right now in Mark Bergevin. But yeah, just the way it goes. As I said, the hole was too deep, and they couldn't dig out of it. So.
Yes, indeed.
Oh well, look towards rebuilding next year. The thing is, as a Habs fan, yeah, this sucks because there was heightened expectations this year. After going to the conference final last year, but this is still a really good team. And with just some improvements in their defensive game and in their offense and puck possession. But like I said, they've got the best goaltender in the league. They've got one of the top defensemen in the league, and they got one of the best two-way forwards in the league in Max Pacioretty. So, a couple of good young kids in Gallagher and Galchenyuk. As I said, I mean, the future's bright for Montreal for the next few years. If they're going to compete against a team that's, got the offensive depth of Tampa Bay, they're either going to have to improve their defensive play or they're going to have to add offense to match.
And that's going to be the tough thing right now for Bergevin. So we'll see how this all goes.
Yeah, but they are not hiring a new coach. Sorry, not happening.
Hold on, let's let this happen.
Oh, listen, that'll be all the talk in the on the Montreal open mouth radio shows tomorrow morning, guaranteed. Yeah, they should fire Therrien and hire Babcock right away. It's not happening. So get over it.
That happens.
This was the Lightning. This was the Lightning's year when it come to Montreal. That just means, hey, it's going to set up for one hell of a rematch in next year's playoffs.
Goodness gracious. All right, well, we got predictions to make, though.
Okay.
Assuming Tampa Bay is winning.
And they will.
Okay. So, what that basically means is we have to make. Now, if you look at it, this round, Sean Leahy minus the Rangers has gone perfect.
Ooh. Look at him
this
go.
round minus the Capitals, the Panda has been perfect. This round minus the Rangers, Lyle has gone 2 of 3.
Hey.
Should I? Actually, I can substitute the Panda for the Magic 8-Ball.
Go Magic 8-Ball.
Do you have the 8-Ball with you?
I do have the 8-Ball with me.
Good. All right, perfect. Good then. I was going to download it, but I don't have to anymore, so screw it.
Where you have a phone, you have an 8-Ball.
That's also good for drug dealers as well.
I was just going to say, careful with that. What? If I have a phone, I have an 8-Ball. Far out, man.
All right, so Lyle.
Oh boy, I'm old.
We'll go Eastern
that reference. I'm old.
Wow, yeah, I was gonna say
Not like the Gray gave that away, but
yeah, listen, these things happen. Well, we don't judge you.
You're
looking great for 67.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And may I say, for a man of 45, you are awesome.
Fuck, Lyle, you're too kind. I feel 57. Like after that drive home. After the drive home, now how I'm feeling, like going back to work for the first 3 days.
That picture you took of that rest stop.
Holy shit!
Oh my God! Like I told you, that looked like a scene out of a Coen Brothers movie.
Well, here's the thing, Lyle. Look at that picture.
Yeah.
And then open your just say nothing and just look at the picture because that's how quiet it was.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a bird or two chirping, but there was no one on the highway with me. There's no airport within 100 miles, so you didn't hear that. it was the eeriest, and I ran down the stairs to the bathroom and literally stopped and looked at the map and focused on the map, because if I looked around me, I was going to get freaked out.
You're gonna creep yourself out, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, where am I at? How far to the border? All right, 200 miles. Go. And then I literally ran back and I stepped up and I looked around me. I'm like, I have to take a shot of this, and I have to take it fast because I'm scared to death.
Yeah,
About
it's
what this looks like.
it's creepy, isn't it?
Oh,
It's
like
creepy.
I didn't know Montana was that vacant in terms of just nothing
Ooh.
around.
Ooh, ooh.
Like
Hey.
I only wonder what Wyoming would be like. Because that's less populated than Montana.
Oh
And
man.
Here's the scary part, Lyle. I didn't have cell service for probably half the state of Montana.
I was going to ask you, how many bars did you have when you took that picture?
0. I had no service.
Ooh.
I had emergency call only, and
Oh,
I
jeez.
made sure that I put the Montana State Highway Police thing in my phone.
That was on your speed dial right away.
That was speed dial, and I was marking it as emergency call.
God almighty. Oh.
Like literally, I had like I have a thing where I'll show you right here, where with the way Kudo has it is you have that like little bar right there where it's nice. It doesn't even have bars. It's just an escalator kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but like that was vacant. That was as vacant as the vibrating sign. The vibrating phone. There was nothing in it, and it was the scariest goddamn thing
Yeah.
I've ever dealt with in my life. Because I'm like, I have to drive perfect. I can't mess up, because even though I'm going through these little towns, I have to stay perfect, because if a deer jumps out in front of me in the middle of bumfuck Montana, which is all of Montana, shout out Billings and Great Falls. If I'm white knuckle driving, hoping for the best, and I'm putting high beams on. I don't care if someone's coming the other way on the 2-lane highway. Screw yourself, because you're not turning your high beams off either, you son of a bitch.
Now, see, the only time when we went down to Montana, we went years ago when I lived there. My folks flew out, and we picked them up in Great Falls. But then we came back up through Glacier National Park, which was just friggin' gorgeous. So, yeah, we avoided that part of Montana you went through, which, as I said, looked like a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, that was more east of you, because
Yeah.
I drove through all of North Dakota and all of Montana. The only good thing, gas was so much cheaper. That's fine by me. 65 cents, I think, was the most per liter that I paid.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's nice, man. We're
and
back
then
to paying $1.15 out here.
Oof, we're up 93 here in Alberta. But Lyle, here's the fun thing. I drive through Lethbridge. You know, I get past the Sweetwater Kuntz border, which Kuntz, hilarious name. I drive through Lethbridge. I'm like, all right, cool. Lethbridge is a nice town. It's like Medicine Hat. I could live in Medicine Hat or Lethbridge. They're really booming towns. I like both of them. Then I get Fort McLeod. Then the snow happens.
I saw that. I saw your post on
I
that.
stopped on the side of the road twice because I couldn't see where the hell I was going. And then yesterday, it snowed in Calgary. 5 o'clock to 7, it was wet snow. I had to brush off my car.
Well, you know why? You know why? You're now living in the People's Republic of Alberta stand since they elected an NDP government, so it's a bunch of socialists, and now they can't afford nice weather. So,
you know what? I'm going to move to a warmer place. I'm moving to North Dakota. I'm going to move to a warmer climate. I'm going to move to North Dakota. It's great there. And North Dakota's not any better, because if it snows really bad there, they literally have gates across the highway to close them. So you can't go past city limits. So it's like, okay. They know that people are going to die out here. That's smart of them to put.
That's smart. It's like, no, sir, this is actually for your protection.
I tell you what, I don't know how people do it, Lyle. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how people do it in these small towns, man. Like remotely. Like, I see a house like every 50 miles in these farmlands. Like, I don't know how you people do it. I don't know how you can be so far from civilization.
That's the thing. And I don't mean to get dark or morbid, but when I used to drive across the prairies and that, and I would see, like, as you said, a farmhouse every 50 kilometers or something like that, all I could think of, this is where my mind would go, what kind of sort of things could be happening in that farmhouse? Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of thing, where nobody would see you or hear you. That's where my mind went.
See, my mind went to, hey,
I wasn't thinking, picturesque farm country. I'm thinking Ed Gein. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
After that fact, I'm like, but it'd be comfortable. It'd be a bit relaxing. But like, the thing that I think of is A, what happens if there's a catastrophic disaster? B, how do you deal with the snow out here?
Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh,
You're glitching.
Oh, are we okay?
Yeah,
We're back?
Good. We're back here.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Your other one dropped out. But I was
Oh,
thinking, like, how can you
weird.
be so far from civilization if you have a bad thing happen to you? How do you deal with the snow that can be bitter in Alberta and Saskatchewan, and Montana and North Dakota? How can you be that far away from a Walmart? And then I thought, but you know what? It'd be relaxing. And then I
Yeah.
stopped at a rest stop in Montana. I'm like, no, fuck this. I need suburban airplanes flying over my head. If I don't hear an airplane for at least 5 minutes, I'm going crazy.
You've got to have been born and raised there. That's the
Yeah.
only
You know
thing.
nothing else because it's like
Yeah.
the one the M Night Shyamalan thing where they think they're in 1830, but it's actually 2015.
Mm.
Well, thanks for spoiling it.
Word. But Lyle, when I did get to a city, the most amount of casinos I saw, it was great. A lot of little mini casinos, the size, like 7-Elevens. It was really nice.
Cool.
So yeah, good times. All right, speaking of more dire
Okay.
straits, playoff predictions.
Yep.
Lyle, starting out the East, who you got? Tampa Bay is going to take on the Rangers of the Caps. Tampa Bay is going to take on the Rangers, Lyle. Who do you?
Tampa
Don't-
Bay against Rangers. I am taking Rangers.
All right, Lyle. I have to ask this.
Okay.
If Tampa Bay faces the Capitals, who you got?
If Tampa Bay faces I'm taking the.
Don't.
Yeah,
Don't,
yeah,
don't do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm taking the Capitals, baby.
So basically, anybody but Tampa Bay.
And again, it's like I said very quickly. It's nothing against Tampa Bay. As I said, Ben Bishop, when he's on his game, is a good goaltender.
Oh sure.
You know, blah blah. Their offense, high octane, terrific power play. But like I said, what I've seen against the difficulty they had against Detroit and the difficulty they've had putting away Montreal. When they go up against, a better club, a more physical club, I think they're going to be in some real trouble. So that's why I don't think they're quite ready yet. Lightning are a good team, but I just don't think they got the physical moxie to go the whole way to go to this.
If Montreal finds a way to come back and win Game 7, win this game and then win Game 7, do they even have a shot?
No.
Okay.
They're still lacking, as I said. They're still lacking those two key things I said before. So.
All right, we'll get your Mark, do we have a Magic 8-Ball pick?
We do. I'm shaking the ball right now.
Already. Woo! Shake that ball. Woo!
Are you going to ask her a
The
question?
question is, do the New York Rangers beat the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Reply hazy. Try again.
All right. Do the
And
New York
this is
Rangers beat the Tampa Bay Lightning?
hate the ball.
Outlook not so good.
Ooh.
Oh, so Tampa in an upset.
Tampa.
Ooh.
Wait,
Does Tampa beat the Washington Capitals?
Beat the Washington.
It is certain. So anyone but the
Well,
Capitals.
Well, of course it is.
So Tampa Bay across the board for the Magic 8-Ball, eh? Right, Mark?
That's what it sounds like.
Tampa. So going with the Sean Leahy method. All right, so Anaheim Ducks versus the Chicago Blackhawks. That one we know for certain.
Oof, that
This
one.
is a tough one. This could be the
Yeah.
best series of
Oh,
the
yeah.
bunch in this entire playoffs.
Yeah, and just as I said, just based on experience and depth, I've got to go with Chicago. Again, no offense to the Ducks, man. Like I said, they're a powerful team, but to be fair as well, they haven't really been tested that much in these playoffs. I mean, the two opponents they had, Winnipeg gave it their best, but obviously they still got a long way to go. Calgary, hey, they pushed them a bit too, but let's face it, Calgary, there was no way Calgary was going to beat Anaheim. So this is going to be the first real test for the Ducks, and they're going to be going up against a really, really, really strong team with a lot of playoff experience and a lot of character and a lot of depth. So I got to give the nod to the Hawks.
Magic 8-Ball. Does the Anaheim Ducks beat the Chicago Blackhawks?
Better not tell you now.
Okay.
This is why we hated the friggin' 8-Ball. The 8-Ball was a dick. That's
So,
why.
do the Ducks beat the Hawks? My sources say no, and my horses say no.
And the horses. So his sources and his horses.
By the way, the memes of Mighty Ducks 1 have been great.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
the
been
Ducks
sick
and
of
the
them.
Hawks.
Yeah, I haven't been sick of them at all the past 3 days. All right, so conference finals. Lyle picks anybody but Tampa. Sean Leahy and the 8-Ball/Panda pick Tampa, and everyone across the board picking Chicago.
Mm,
So, Lyle, next week we will have a show on Wednesday.
okay.
Whether I'm committed to a mental ward or not by that time, we don't know. That remains to be seen.
As the Magic 8 Ball would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. It's a bit
Yeah.
hazy.
Bit hazy.
But if we do survive, if I do not go have a nervous breakdown because the Caps actually gave me hope, and then by the time we talk next, they're up 2-0, that's when we start to get shaky and hope lays its ugly head in its face. So
Hope is a bitch when you cheer for a sports team, especially a sports team that breaks your heart a lot.
Hope is terrible, but Hope, Idaho, a really nice resort town.
Yes.
I will
yes,
throw
it
that
is.
out there. I will shout out Hope, Idaho. So
Yeah.
there we go. All right, Lau. Thanks again, buddy. We appreciate
Hey,
it. We
it was
appreciate
my
the
pleasure. Good seeing you again,
bevy of
Mark.
topics we talked
Yes, Lyle, good seeing you as well. Hopefully
Oh.
next week I won't be at the bottom of a staircase.
about. That's true. No,
You had to go to that line again, didn't you? You just had to
Here's the
go
thing.
right up to the line.
Here's the thing. You will be because you're in Kansas.
That's true.
So there we
Hey,
I
go.
might have better internet in Kansas, so we don't
That's shocking. Over Boston, that's very
Wow.
shocking.
It's Cape Cod. Nobody cares about the internet when you're on Cape Cod.
Kit Kat.
Hey, get the schooner out there, Sully.
Because
Get the
Pepperidge
schooner out
Farm,
there. We
remember.
go out to the bay. It's going to be great. I don't know what accent that was. But
I don't know
No,
either.
thanks, buddy.
Hey, my pleasure, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Say Lyle.
Lowrich, InspectorsHockey.net, TheHockeyNews.com, BleacherReport.com, and the PI Guardian Island Enterprise. Edwards. Shout-outs, Mr. Mark with a say.
Give a shout out to my cousin Jim. My cousin Jim is getting married this weekend in Pennsylvania, and we're driving up there for the wedding. Shout out to my buddies Connor and EJ, who got married 2 weekends ago. Shout out to I don't know. The hell with it.
Perfect. Solid work. Make it quick. Shout out Mr. Mike's Casual Steakhouse. They make food good, and the cooks will come out there and tell you that the dad body's a thing. So they keep you up to date on the latest news and trends. Fuck Boston Pizza Airdrie. Huge diss to them. Firing my girl Sammy. How dare
It's
you?
messed up.
That's fucked up, dude. She was the coolest kid in the room. So the hell with them anymore. Shout out to Montana not killing me. Diss to the snow. Shout out vacant rest stops and diss to vacant rest stops because hey, who knows? And that rest stop was weird because the rest stop in Alberta was weird because it was a trough and then it was like a hole in the ground for the other thing, and that was really weird. So an odd shout out to holes in the ground and troughs and rest stops. I don't know.
Alright.
And also no soap in these rest stops either. It was a faucet or you didn't even have a faucet in the Alberta one. You had the hand sanitizer, and that was it. Like, that's
Not even any running water.
No, it was really bad. But I guess you can't have that in southern Alberta because it freezes because of weather. So I can understand that, I suppose. It snows there in May. Why would you have running water there
It's
and no
true.
one attending to it? So it's not like I-95 where you have a rest stop and you also have like an Auntie Anne's and a Burger King in it, which there should be more of. Shout out I-95 rest stops. That's a weird thing to say coming out of my mouth, but so has everything else been in this show. I went on a rant about how the Caps winning would be the worst thing for me. Who's to say? Who's to say?
What would you do tomorrow evening? What's the first thing you'd do?
Wake up for my nap, turn on the TV, and just hope to God I don't need to get on Twitter and say something. Because apparently I follow a lot of Ranger fans, and they're annoying as shit. God bless them all, but they're annoying as shit. And if they win, I couldn't deal with it. And if the Caps win, I don't know if I could deal with it if the Caps won. If they got to magic number 8, I might have to go and drink tomorrow night. I might have to go out and buy. Actually, I got beer here, so I'll drink here. But I might have to drink the Honey Browns, whatever. Dude, I don't. If they actually win tomorrow, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not even thinking about that because I know deep down They've disappointed me this time before. If they don't disappoint me again, I don't know how to feel anymore. Last time they went to a conference finals. I remember what happened. I was driving home from hockey practice, and Joey Juneau scored in '98. He scored. I was 15 years old. Oh, God. Why do they do this to us, Mark? Why?
I don't know, but I just sent you a link for an article that you can read before work. So enjoy.
Oh, God. You son of a bitch. Did you send it to my email or in the conversation?
I put it in a G chat.
Oh, okay.
But I could send it through the email if that's easier.
Yeah, send it to the email because I won't get the G chat until later. But dude. Like if they won tomorrow, I might buy in. I might actually start buying in, and again, that's the worst thing for me. But I know they're not going to win. They're going to blow a 3-1 lead as they are wont to do. They're 0-4 in game sevens after they've blown an 0-3 lead or 3-0 lead. All right, I gotta go before I start overthinking this. And then just start. And you know what? If they do win, I might throw on my own YouTube channel and just sit there in disbelief for 30 minutes and then shut it off and say thanks, guys, and shut the whole thing off and have a 30-minute of me just quantifying how they won the game. But it's not going to happen. So
yeah.
All right. For Mark with a C, I'm Scotty Watts. Take care of yourself and someone else. It's been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com. It's also our Tumblr, at Twitter, at Faceoff. Jesus Christ, Faceoff HCKY Show. And then the Facebook is FOHS Radio. So look us up there. But until next Wednesday, go Caps, I guess. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Where's the button? I can't find the button. Where's the button? Is that the button?